Jean Ordenfall spent his childhood on his family's farm, just south of the Duvet Forest. His parents, Derlin and Macy, had raised him well, teaching him what he needed to know to one day take over. Financially, they did quite well for themselves, carting their crops to nearby towns and cities for sale, although the frigid weather that often surrounded their home did not make it an easy life. As is the case with most youngins living the farm life, Jean eventually sought to see what else the world had to offer, and so he left in search of what opportunities the neighboring city had for him. It wasn't long before he realized the city life was not his to live. The boy who left, though, had become a man, and the man had met a woman, a blacksmith's daughter by the name of Cerithia. They fell for each other quick, and before they knew it, their love blossomed into a marriage and a son. The son they named Derlin, after Jean's father. Jean eventually returned home to his parents' farm with his family, where they made a life for themselves, a new life for his wife and son, but one all too familiar to Jean. They were happy. That is, until the day vile creatures from beyond the veil made their way into their home. After being driven from his homeland by the insatiable undead that now plague it, Jean seeks out those brave enough to aid him in cleansing his land of the foul fate that befell him and his family, and exacting the vengeance he so eagerly thirsts for.
As a child, Celeste Highcrest would never have dreamed of leaving the sheltered life of luxury she had become accustomed to. Born to two noble parents in a land far beyond the Vale, Celeste's childhood had been fraught with expectation. Her father, High Archivist Saran Highcrest, had set high standards for his two children, and the elder of those two elves, Celeste's sister Cressida, had surpassed all of them. Cressida had found her talents at an early age, her nose buried in books, and magic coming to her as easy as breathing. Celeste, however, had struggled in the shadow of her sister's success for as long as she could remember, never quite meeting the expectations of her father, and always the object of his disappointed glances. When the two elves came of age, they sat the entrance exam to join their father at the sanctum, to become mentored under his tutelage and scribe ancient texts in the archives. Cressida, to no one's surprise, had passed the exam with overwhelming success. Celeste, on the other hand, held true to her long-standing tradition of always being second best. It was rare that one should ever choose to leave their homeland, but never being able to escape the constant overshadowing from her sister, Celeste had decided it was finally time to break free of this tradition. For here, she would always be Cressida's sister, never her own person. But if she were to leave, perhaps she could finally forge her own path. She found her way to the dimension door, stepping through for the first time and finding herself in a land strangely familiar, yet unlike anything she had ever experienced. She boarded the first ship she came across, bound for the kingdom of Quell, and spent years travelling these oceans between continents, desperate to find something worthy enough to bring home as tribute to her family. Until one day, the news found her. The door that she had stepped through to enter this plane had vanished, along with every other door that could lead her home. Now stuck, seemingly an entire universe between her and her homeland, Celeste is searching for answers, and some miracle that could lead her home again.
A young half-elf, Tam Corthan grew up working the land with his father and learning herblore and healing from his elven mother. After a horrible childhood accident, he swore he would avoid violence, unless he had no other choice. When the war came, like every Corthan for generations before him, Tam enlisted to fight for his king. During the bloody battle for King's Helm, Tam's selfless efforts to heal his friends caught the eye of the celestial Aethia, and she became his patron, giving him the gift of celestial healing. His courage in battle did not prevent him from drawing the ire of his superiors. His compassion was blind, and he would heal all in need, even the enemy. After the end of the war, Tam worked as a healer in the villages outside Crackvolm, hoping to save enough money to gain entry to the Healers Guild. After a series of unfortunate events, Tam finds himself in debt to a very wealthy and very criminal cartel boss. Pinned between his compassion and his new master, Tam tries to make the best of his situation, dreaming of a day where he can live his life in freedom.
Ingue grew up in an exclusive, reclusive community of druids. His elders, ancient and wise, one of the greatest, his mother, was a great storyteller, and he grew up sharing their stories. While the community has very strict rules and customs and routines, each member is encouraged once in a lifetime to travel out into the world and experience the trials and tribulations, bring back their challenges to share and to tell the story of the world.
Hello, everyone. Save it. Works. It's a little slow.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Hello to everyone and the followers. No,
Hello.
over there.
Okay.
All right. Hello.
Hello?
And I will just fix this. Sorry, technical server. Somehow I can hear myself. I will try to fix that in 2 seconds. But hello, everyone else. And welcome to the second episode of Monsters and Men. Currently, I have some technical difficulties. I'm just trying to figure out why I have an echo. 2 seconds. Is that working? Yeah, now I don't have an echo. It's your headphones. It is your speakers, Jacob. And now we can't hear you.
Now I can't hear anything.
So it's definitely me.
Yes. And I can hear myself again now.
Technology, folks.
What settings have you got on your OBS, Jacob? Have a look at your input and output. Click on the settings and have a look at your input output.
Yeah, my inputs from this microphone and my outputs from these headphones.
Really?
I can just turn the good microphone off and use my.
That shouldn't have changed anything.
Has that fixed it?
I can still hear myself.
You can still hear yourself.
Yeah. Let me try something for 2 seconds.
Sorry.
Blah blah. I cannot hear myself when Jacob is muted.
Okay, well you're just gonna have to mute and unmute, I guess.
Sorry, Jacob.
Sorry, Ingue, you don't get to
just
talk in the
leave.
session.
There you go. So it's definitely you, Jacob.
Yeah, because I'm pressing mute there.
And now I can't hear myself. You're good now. You're good now.
And so when I come back in, you can hear as soon as I become unmuted.
Yep.
I'm good now, but you can still hear.
I can hear you, but I
me.
can't hear me.
And you
Nope.
can still hear yourself.
So it's all good. We're all good.
That was the first part of it.
Awesome. All fixed.
Technology.
Now we'll go to
people.
a break.
Yep. Bye. That was the first episode. And now I'm trying something else. Just give me 2 seconds. So, Mr. Sharok, can you check if I'm super echoey now? Or if you can even hear what
If you're, yep.
everything should be good. Or if you're self echoey, can you talk?
We.
Talk.
The real question is.
Yeah, I think we sound echoey.
Okay, I can fix that.
Do we? Hang on.
Oh, that's cool. I can fix that.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry,
Very
everyone
good.
watching this is
we're
super
good.
weird, but I will fix that now. And now it should not be echoey anymore.
Technology, the friend to all streamers.
Can you check it
It's
one
the
more
first
time?
puzzle of the campaign. We have
Yeah,
to
that's
figure
it.
out what's making the echo.
Can you check it one more time to see if it's gone now?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
We're good? Yeah.
Now I
Cool.
have an echo.
I can't.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can't hear an echo with us.
And there's a music word.
Step forward a bit, Jacob.
Um.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's better.
Alright. Anyway, now we got that sorted.
Cool.
Hello everyone else and welcome back to the second episode of Monsters and Mayhem. This will be the last time we'll be doing our stream on this channel. We'll go to our own channel next week. And that will be fun. That will be very fun. Because then we have more control, we can definitely do some cool stuff, and then we get to fight to become affiliated. We also have a giveaway. Which we are doing from today until the 30th of October. October? 30th of October? Yeah. And we're giving away 2 things. More of the details on that on our Discord. There should hopefully be some links coming up into our Discord as well. But we're giving away 2 things. One is a starter set and another one is a really cool mini. But I'm not going to tell you which one because that would be ruining the surprise. And make sure you're not going to our Discord. However, it's basically about following our social media and then you can win. And then we draw the winner and we announce the winner on the 1st of November. I think I got all the dates right. If not, I'm sorry. Math.
Hey, Tom, am I allowed to enter? Am I allowed to enter, Tom?
No. You're already a winner because you're on the show.
I want the mini, though.
Sorry.
I really want the mini.
You can buy the mini. You can also buy the mini if you don't win it.
Maybe I'll have to do that.
There we go. Anyway.
It is very, very my love of all things in that realm.
It's a very cool mini as well. It's very horror based as well, considering it's almost Spooktober, I think I call it.
Halloween.
Halloween. Anyway,
Spooky season.
I think that was pretty much what I was trying to say, other than messing up all the technicalities and all that stuff. So, last time we played, there was a few interesting things that happened. First one was you basically got exploded by some kind of orange orb that gave some of you a vision, except for Tam. Tam did not get a vision because Tam managed to pass his save. Everyone else saw visions of similar things that they had experienced in their lives, and some of them unfamiliar. Before the orb exploded and you were all branded with a brand new tattoo. That is almost where we left off. The only thing after that was that you went back to the inn and you tried to interrogate your employer, Mr. Baal, and it seemed like he was pretty much on the level, as far as you can see. And before going to bed, Sean had a bit of a visitor. and didn't get much sleep. And next morning is where we will begin our game today. Tam is not alone in his bedroom. Ingue is alone in his bedroom. Sean fell asleep on a chair in his bedroom with his axe very close by. And Celeste fell asleep, half drunk, I believe, in her room as well. And that's where we'll begin.
I would argue Jean probably didn't end up falling asleep.
That is up to you.
So Ingue would have been violently drunk. And I reckon he's woken up really early in the morning. And he's gonna knock on John's door.
John's probably already standing and up, and he sort of makes his way over to the door and just cracks at a peek and peers through, and seeing it's Ingue, sort of opens it a little bit more. Morning, friend.
I think something really serious is happening, John.
What's... Oh, shit. First, okay. Yep. What's going on? What's the situation?
I can see from... I can turn too.
Yep.
Can we go and investigate downstairs?
Sure. What do we... you know what? I'll just follow you and I'll learn along. Yep. Let's go. You lead the way.
So Ingue was really sick. And he's gonna go downstairs. Probably this would be like really early in the morning, like still like that 5 a.m. wake up before the sun rises. Yeah. I'm just. Can you keep an eye out while I cast a spell?
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Jean's gonna just keep an eye out. He's just gonna put a hand on one of his hand axes at his waist and just be looking around. Anyone who seems to approach us looks suspicious.
And I'm gonna cast Detect Poison and Disease. Oh wait, first, is there anyone down there? Is there anyone, like, it's early in the morning, is there anyone?
Yeah, there's a few of the farmers that are in there for the normal breakfast food. You see Baal is down there too, enjoying his town crier newspaper, and it looks like milk and eggs.
I think we've been poisoned, John. I
hell
think
makes you
someone's
think
out to
that
get
now?
us.
But I mean, besides being exhausted, I don't feel anything odd. What's going on? What makes you think this?
What happened to you last night? You woke up looking really worried. What happened to you?
That's not important. Just couldn't sleep much after yesterday's events. It just shook me a little more than I was expecting. But I'm fine. Don't worry about that.
So you don't think someone's out to get us?
I mean, we kind of. I mean, I don't know if they know it's us, but we kind of know that someone's probably going to be out to get us in some facet, right? I mean, maybe we'll talk a little more privately about it with the rest of them, but I mean, not anyone. What is making you think all these things? I'm confused and concerned.
I was really sick last night.
Okay.
I think we've been poisoned.
What kind of sick are we talking?
Like, I'm still sick. My head's throbbing, and I'm really thirsty, but I don't want to drink it. Actually, wait first. And I'll cast Purify Food and Drink.
Right.
On the bar area.
Okay. A few individuals suddenly start realizing that their beer is now just pretty much murky water. But other than that, you cast it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So
hold on.
I think I fixed it, John.
So you had a headache. You're feeling thirsty. You didn't. and I clap my hands in front of him, like, kind of loud. That rattle you a little bit? Yeah, it looks like it rattled. Look, my friend, just sort of like immediately calm down and walk over, put a hand on his shoulder. This is what's known as a hangover, friend. You done poisoned yourself without realizing it. This is what happens when you drink too much of that stuff we were drinking last night. I think you're just feeling it this morning.
So what were you worried about?
You said poisoning, and I came running. It was an issue. I mean, we've been through some shit. Granted, it was only just one day of it, but I trust you enough to come down running, especially after yesterday's events. I thought there was going to be fucking, sort of like lean in and whisper a little bit. Members of the Cascade or some shit down here trying to kill us. I don't know what the fuck to expect.
Maybe we should have some breakfast and wait for the others to come down.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. That sounds good. And I just call out, just like, is there a barmaid currently attending, or no one there at the moment?
Currently there is a male bartender. The young female from yesterday is nowhere to be seen.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna turn in that general direction. Just be like, can we just get, I don't know, the oiliest, greasiest, whatever you have as a breakfast menu over to this table. One for me and my friend.
Sure, no problem. We can do that. It's a silver each, please.
Yeah, all right. And I'll take a gold coin out because I have nothing but gold coins. Put that down and again, wait eagerly, expecting the change.
Eventually, you get the change.
Change for that, sir.
There you go.
Thank you. And I take it, and I'll leave one silver behind as well.
Thank you so much for that. And,
all right.
He starts cooking the breakfast.
Sweet. Yeah, I assume we just wait for the others to get up, make their way downstairs. We'll just get started on the day with that way, I assume.
Eerily quiet from Ingue sitting at the table.
Yeah, Jean's also got his mind elsewhere.
After a little while, you get a bowl of scrambled eggs with some bacon, and there's a tomato in there. It's not really like grade A kind of tomato. You can see that there probably was a little bit of mold on it that's been cut off, but it's a functioning meal.
Does the job. Cool.
Definitely.
Again, yeah.
Oh, what's this? It's the best thing I've ever had.
Anything in particular catching? Or just the breakfast on a whole?
This red vegetable. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Holding up a piece of bacon.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's not a vegetable. That's bacon. You ever had bacon?
Bacon?
Guessing not.
No, I know a lot of...
Yeah, you know a lot about nature. Yeah. Look, it comes from the pig. You ever had a pig? Pork. You all right? Doing all right, friend?
It tastes good.
Yeah, it's the meat. Yeah, it's the meat from the pigs. They take that and...
Yum.
You seem to be having a rough morning. If you're not comfortable with the bacon, why don't you just keep it to the side, give it a think, chomp on everything else. Once that's down, then you can...
It's fine. It's fine.
All right, you just seemed a little shocked from it, so all right, yep, and I'll just go down and carry on eating as well. Just sort of occasionally looking up and just making sure Ingue seems all right with everything.
You make sure he's not having a heart attack or a brain tumor, but he seems to be all right. Next one who wakes up, I would guess, would be Celeste, actually.
Well, actually, unless anyone actively came to wake her up or if anything happened, she'd probably sleep in until about 10:30.
Fair enough.
She's not really an early.
Fair enough. Tam, I'm guessing it would be you then. You're a little low on the volume.
Tam would probably be the next one to wake up. He would have probably woken not much after Ingue, I would suggest. He is by habit an early riser, having grown up on a farm and then spent years in the military. He would be up already. He would have bid the good lady a good morning and wished her a good day, and said something to the effect of "Don't call me, I'll call you." And he would have actually started to do exercises, calisthenics, of course, body weight exercises, chin-ups and push-ups and sit-ups, things like this. Maybe a little bit of stretching, and I guess once he's sure that he is presentable, he would have a shave and make sure his hair is perfectly brushed and ready to meet his day. And at that, I think he will open the blinds of his room. Is there sunlight? Can he see sun?
Yes, there's definitely sunlight coming through the windows.
So I think he would like to say some prayers to Aethia. He would give thanks, of course. He would pray for guidance. He would like to tell Aethia the events of yesterday and tell her that he is confused and concerned, and hope for her guidance through the next stage of their adventure.
Radio.
And once he's said his prayers and done his exercises in the morning, he would make his way downstairs, seeking out some sort of breakfast, and look around, see if he can see the others. Yeah, he would notice the others, I suggest, and go and sit down next to them.
Yeah, no problem. You can definitely find them. They are sitting
Morning, friend.
next to each other, very quietly, up until you arrive, at least.
Morning, gentlemen. How did you sleep?
Not well, but I'll be fine. Yourself?
Oh, I slept rather well, actually. Maybe went to bed a little late. Was otherwise occupied. But no, I slept like a log, really. I was up early and saw the sun, and I'm ready for a wonderful day. How about you, Ingue? Ingue, are you doing okay? You don't look so good.
I'm feeling a bit under the weather, actually. I am. My head's throbbing. John says it's normal, but I'm really struggling with this start of the day. But I fixed it for today anyway. And I'm assuming there'll be like drinks with us.
How do you feel?
My
how do you
head's
feel?
pumping.
I think our friend's experiencing their first hangover.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have a few drinks last night, Ingue?
Yeah, but no more than John or Celeste.
Yes. But I would imagine this is relatively new to you, yes? Haven't been drinking for long.
Or eating. Have you tried the bacon stuff?
Yes, my friend, I've had bacon. So you had a little too much to drink, and you're not feeling very well this morning, and now you're enjoying some bacon. Ah, well, and he claps Ingue on the shoulder, and welcome to the club, my friend. Has anybody seen Celeste?
Not as of yet.
Oh, she hasn't been down. Maybe she's asleep. Maybe she's got a hangover like Ingue does.
Potentially.
Well, how about I go up and see if we can't rouse her, and we maybe be able to get into our day, yes? I notice our friend Mr. Baal's over there. Maybe he has another adventure for us.
Yeah, I think that'd be worth it. Probably
Okay,
a good
well,
idea.
while I'm waiting for my breakfast to arrive, I'll duck upstairs and see if I can't rouse her.
All right.
So yeah, I'll make my way back up the stairs, and I'm going to gently. It's not like a Sheldon knock. It's just like a nice gentle knock on the door, and I'll call out softly, Celeste, are you awake?
From inside the room, you just hear a mumbled, "What do you want?"
Oh well, everybody's downstairs having breakfast. We'd love it if you could join us. I think you'd enjoy it. There's some delicious food, and Ingue has a hangover. It's all rather amusing.
And at that, she'll stand up and you hear her walking over towards the door and pulling it open, and you see her hair is all poking up all over the place, a little bit of dry drool on the corner of her mouth, bleary-eyed, remnants of her eyeliner smudged down underneath her eyes. Leans up against the door and goes, "That is something worth getting out of bed for. Just give me 5 minutes," and she'll close the door.
Well, Tam will make his way back downstairs and wait for Celeste.
Celeste will just get the wash basin in the corner of the room and clean up her face and smooth her hair down, maybe get changed into another pair of clothes so she's not wearing the same dirty clothes she was wearing yesterday, make her way downstairs.
As you come back down, Tam, you have breakfast on the table.
Wonderful. I'll sit and you see Tam eat very quickly. Something about being in the military and having an older brother, you learn to eat rather fast. So Tam barely stops to take a breath. He certainly doesn't talk, and just crams the food in as fast as he can, and then lets out a mighty belch, and then sits back, just watching.
In that annoying way that young people have of getting over their hangover, I would have been over it already. And detailed asking you, which, the bacon, which part of the, you cut the muscles? Is that how it works? And non-stop questions about, would you know, John? Would you have known about, being a farmer and cutting up?
I feel like John would have a pretty good idea. To some extent.
Yeah, you've probably seen him do it.
But yeah, I don't know exactly where the bacon comes from. I think it's stomach.
It's from the bacon muscle. I don't know.
Maybe, but
if anyone knows,
send
us a message.
Which John, of course, explains.
Yes.
Yeah. So long conversation about how all of the animal, and then cheese, and then eggs, and then everything. Farming, I'm just drilling you about farming.
Yeah. Definitely answer as many of those questions as I could.
Very well.
Yeah, sitting there, Celeste doesn't actually have breakfast. She just has a black coffee by itself. That's all she needs to get started with the day.
It's a pretty
good
good
way to get the energy up, I guess. Get kicking off for the day.
Indeed.
Yes, I need something to get my mind working after sleep, I always have trouble clearing that fog, but once a cup or two going down the hatch, usually feel myself again.
Fair. I can understand that.
She lean over the table a little bit and look towards Ingue and go, "I know you bounced back from that little hangover you had this morning, but how's your head feeling from, yesterday? took a hard fall.
Pretty good. Like, last night I felt better because I drank the alcohol, and now I'm feeling better because I got over... Yeah, I'm pretty good. Hey, should we do it again? Should we see if Bethel Bar's got another job?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did say he had something else for us, but weren't we going to take those bags back to the mill? Didn't we say that? Didn't we tell him we were going to take those bags back?
I mean, kind of. I'll be honest with everything that went on yesterday. I'm a little lost in what was actually like a real plan and what was just what we were telling people.
Well, either way, I think we've still got the horse and cart out the front, so, I mean, we either better take that back or do something with it.
That's true. Well, I mean, that belonged to William, or...
Well, I wasn't.
Yeah. So, I guess that horse and cart don't really have an owner anymore, based on the circumstances. So I don't know if we
What happens to a horse?
well.
Might lean
What
forward a
happens
little bit
to a
and go,
horse if it doesn't have an owner? We should look after Luna.
We
won't be
could,
for much longer anyway,
but exactly. And I mean, I don't know how long. I mean, I like you all, and I appreciate your company and you looking out for me yesterday and whatnot. But I don't know how long this is gonna last. I'm mainly in just looking for some work for some gold and trying to find some people to help me with the problem. Outside of that, I can't really stick around adventuring for the sake of adventuring.
What's the problem?
Hang on, before we get too involved, the walls have ears, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Can I just have a look around the room and see? Are there any? You said there were a few farmers in here. Are any of those farmers within earshot?
Not really. They're kind of sitting up at the bar, so it's a bit further away. You're kind of sitting more towards the corner. There isn't really anyone close by. It's not a full bar. It's not a lot of people there currently. There's you guys, there's Baal, and there's maybe 3 more patrons in there, and then the barman, the barkeep, and also a young half-elf bar lady that you saw from yesterday, who's come down from one of the rooms upstairs and are getting ready for work. But other than that, no, it doesn't seem like it.
So, guys, if we're going to discuss anything, perhaps it's best if we, like, I know it doesn't seem like anybody's listening, but I'd hate for anybody to overhear anything. Perhaps these types of conversations are best had in somewhere a little more private. Perhaps maybe if we're out on the road and we decide we're going to go somewhere, perhaps that would be the place to have these conversations. I, for one, am very interested in what John has said about his problem, but I can't help but be a little bit concerned. The people that we have been entertained with, they may have their ways, if you understand.
Yeah, I agree, because, I mean, ultimately, we still haven't technically told Baal the entire truth of what happened, right? Like, we still got the coin that we found there.
Exactly.
He still thinks that William and Anne are alive.
Yes.
So if we go, hey, by the way, what we do with this horse, we'll be like, take it back, and we'll be like, oh, right, look what we found, dead body. How weird.
Yeah, I think we're in a bit of a sticky predicament, and we gotta figure out a couple steps to a plan.
Perhaps we could just tell him. We could tell him what happened. I know we discussed that last night, and you know, when we spoke with him about the symbol, he seemed honest. He seemed to have some measure of integrity. I feel like I think I'm a good judge of character. Tim's not a good judge of character. I feel like I'm a good judge of character, and I feel like we can trust him. Maybe if we told him the truth, he would be able to give us some advice, and we could have him as an ally, if you will. What do you think, guys?
It's tough to say. I mean,
Yes, it is.
he did seem pretty earnest about everything last night. I was quite skeptical at first, as you all know, but after that and having a few drinks with him last night, I think he was none the wiser of everything going on. My problem is just if we tell him too much and he knows someone, or information gets around, there's a possibility of causing more issues. But I do think that we need to inform him at least more of the truth.
Because my concern is that we go and tell him, oh, by the way, that story we told you yesterday, half of it was completely hogwash. What if he goes, well, I don't want to work with you anymore. Give me back that gold you earned and be on your way. And then we lose out on whatever job opportunities we were actually here for in the first place.
He can choose to no longer work with us, but he'll be damned if he's touching my goddamn gold that I was paid fairly. The rest of it I can understand. That's something to a different accord, but...
I suppose we did sign a contract.
Maybe, if you remember, and one of you mentioned it, I believe, we suggested perhaps taking the horse and cart back. What if we do make that trip, and when we return, we could just happen to have found the bodies and none the wiser. Perhaps that would sort out some of it without us having to tell anything about the gold or what
the
happened.
blood in the room, because the bodies are buried.
We told him that there was extra bags of grain and we were going back to the mill. We didn't say we were going back to the farm.
Well, if we go back to the mill and take the grain back to the mill, if that's the first leg of our journey, and then we say, okay, well, we're going to take the flour to the mill, the grain back to the mill, and then we will return the horse and cart and make our way back here on foot. Perhaps when we make our way back here after having returned the grain, minus the additions, and take the horse back, the horse and cart back
to William's place.
Then we can come back here and say what happened. Yes.
But if we take the horse and if we take Luna back to William's place, who's going to look after Luna? Everyone at Luna's house is
well, perhaps
is dead.
Of course.
Perhaps,
sure.
we don't have to walk out. No, not at all. I was going to say perhaps we don't have to walk back if that's the circumstance, and it's believed that we find them there in that situation. We could take the horse back again to town.
Yes, of course.
To leave it there unattended would be irresponsible.
Of course, that's an excellent idea. What do you think, Ingue? Yeah. And Celeste, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on board with whatever doesn't get me in trouble, to be honest. So I'll just go along with you guys, and push come to shove, you got 3 people to stand behind. Works for me.
Of course. We take the bags of grain back to the mill, and then we return back to William's farm. And I think perhaps if we do choose to actually go back to William's farm, we should try to be somewhat surreptitious. Maybe not go all the way there, and maybe I could send Sonus to have a bit of a look. We know what we're going to find, and we don't need to go back there to find out that they're dead. We deaded them. Maybe if we do go back in that direction, I don't think we should go all the way to the farm, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Just head south enough that when we come back and we're spotted, it seems as though we did in fact return from that direction.
I agree.
I'm more worried about going to the mill.
Yeah, a thought had crossed my mind. Aren't the bags we have now empty for the most part?
Yeah.
They are. That's a problem.
The only other thing I could think of is perhaps we return to the farm first. Although it wouldn't look good to anyone looking at us if we were spotted. collect 2 bags of grain, and then do the whole trek and journey.
What do you know? Actually, let's get on the road, and then if we get on the road, we can make a decision without people being around. Should we leave? And we'll say we're going to the mill.
I think
even
that's
if
an
we
excellent
don't go to
idea.
the mill.
Agreed.
We should talk to Mr. Baal first. Maybe I'll go and have a chat. Yes, and if you guys want to come along, I'll go and have a conversation with him and see if he has any ideas, and we'll suggest to him our plan and see what he says. What do you think, guys?
Sounds good. I'll go wait by the cart. Perhaps go. Anyway, do you want to come with me? I'm thinking of grabbing some food from the bar there. Perhaps they've got a couple raw carrots in the back. We can feed old Luna while we wait.
There's a store. Should we go to the general store and get some supplies?
We could, but we'll just grab a couple carrots now, and then perhaps on the way we could figure something out for that.
Brilliant.
See what there is. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll head to the bar and see if they got any raw carrots in the back they're willing to part with, even for a couple coin
They definitely do.
or something else to that nature.
For a silver, you get a little box.
Easy.
Okay, Celeste. let's go and have a chat. Yeah.
It's you and me, Tam. Absolute dream team. Although I must admit, you got the face for it, and you can take a D6 of bardic inspiration.
Yeah, baby. Okay. So I'll make my way over to Mr. Baal and I'll pull up a seat. Good morning, friend. How do you feel after last night? I think you guys stayed up and had a few drinks and had a bit of merriment.
Oh, I'm feeling quite alright, my friend.
Excellent, excellent. So it's another day. We had quite a successful adventure yesterday.
Indeed.
I wondered whether we might take this opportunity this morning to return the bags back to the mill and return Mr. Williams' cart. What do you think?
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. I have another job for you if you're interested.
Of course, we definitely are. Maybe if we take an hour or so to head back to Williams, Jeremiah's farm, and we can come back here and see what the job is.
Sounds perfectly smashing to me.
Fantastic. Well, I guess we'll see you back here in an hour or so. Yes. What do you think, Celeste?
Sounds like an absolute dream.
Perfect.
Thanks for your company last night, by the way, Baal. You got some brilliant stories.
Oh, absolutely. That is my main feature, other than being pretty.
And
Good
you
to see
are
you back on
very
your feet
pretty.
again.
Indeed, I am. The next job I have for you is worth 150 gold.
Goodness me.
So, just a heads up. I do working with you guys, so I'm holding off this special job for you.
Please do. I think we'd be very interested in quite a sum.
Rightio.
Okay, well, we'll see you back here in a few hours, yes? We'll go to the mill, back to Jeremiah's farm, and we'll back here as soon as we can.
Rightio. Sounds great.
Fantastic. We'll make our way and head out.
Right. The cart is there with a few bags of empty grain that you left there. But the cart is there with Luna. And it looks like nothing's been taken, no one's stolen anything, it's not broken, and Luna seems happy.
Celeste will jump in the back of the cart and get herself all settled in. Get ready to roll.
Yeah. Jean's up on the driver's seat, so to speak.
Alrighty.
Yeah, anyway, be next, John.
Yep.
You're a little,
Good sound.
Tam's
low
lost his
there,
voice.
We've spoken to Baal, and he's indicated that he has another job for us. This one's worth 150 gold. and he said he would hold it aside for a special because he really enjoys working with us. We told him that we would go to the mill and then back to Jeremiah's farm. He seemed very happy with that. So I guess we're all good.
All right.
Shall we head off?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
Come on, Luna. Lead the way.
She starts moving.
So Tam will make his way, jump into the back, and go through his the ritual of polishing down his gear, taking each piece apart, looking what's in his kit, making sure it's all in ship shape, testing his buckles, testing the leather, all of that sort of stuff. Exactly the same thing you saw him do yesterday.
As we're travelling, Celeste will kind of like look over at Tam, kind of give him an old proven side eye, and then she'll kind of creep forward and poke her head through the canvas again and poke her face out between Jean and Ingue. Look over towards Jean, kind of this curious look on her face, and go, "How are you feeling after yesterday?"
Tired but fine. Yourself?
Seemed like you were a little bit shaken up yesterday.
Yeah, it's not every day that I get thrown into a magic white room with pillars and shit. Whatever the fuck that was. I thought I was just tripping on something that laced that cake or something, but the fact that you all saw it, or at least the majority of you, yeah, it ain't sitting right with me.
Yes, I noticed that there was something that you didn't quite like about the whole magic thing before even the orb exploded and sucked us all into that parallel dimension. You know, even before that, it seemed to kind of get under your skin a little bit.
Yeah, it's not that I dislike magic. I don't wholly understand it. Not like what I don't understand. So it's more that I just, if I can do without it, I prefer to avoid it. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, you seem to be well enough with those two axes that you've got your side.
They do the job.
Wood and steel, can't go wrong.
Simplicity at its finest.
I should look over towards Ingue. You really are quite marvellous with these horses. Well, this one horse anyway.
Well, it's amazing what you can get from people when you just speak to them nicely.
I suppose that's true. It rings true for every situation. And
So-
then she'll kind of like... Oh, sorry.
So, I know that we got offered money, but I'm not really that interested in. I want to hang with you guys. I don't necessarily want to work if that's what we're doing.
Ingue, can I tell you a secret about the world?
Please do.
No one on this planet likes to work. I don't think there's any one of us who actually wakes up in the morning and goes, I cannot wait to go out and plough those fields today. I cannot wait to feel the sunburn on the back of my neck. But at the end of the day, money in your pocket is what's going to buy you happiness. And the only way to get that money is to put in the hard labour.
That's such a.
So you hear Tam pipe up from the back of the cart. Work. I love work. It brings us closer to the light.
Everyone except for Tam. He's an odd sort.
Oh, I love working too. At home we all work very hard and well, everything seems to be much nicer than it is around here. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is amazing, but what's wrong with working?
Usually it comes from working for someone else, doing someone else's work.
Yeah.
Like for us, we're not really solving our own problems going off on these little errands, we're solving other people's problems. I think that's where the crux of it is. But we can make our own fun. So
John?
I guess you get the best of both worlds, get to make a little bit of coin and get to hang out with us.
John, if you were looking for coin, What is this something that we can help? Can we help you with something?
That begs to be seen. But I'll roll with you in the meantime. And in all honesty, out of that job yesterday, I don't think I'm gonna need much more coin. I'm pretty close to being set in that regard, but I'm more so looking for people. And yeah.
How much more coin? You can have my coin.
Nope, I refuse. That is yours. In fact, I don't even feel the coin we got from those bags yesterday is rightfully mine. I'm sort of a little torn as to whether I should keep it or not myself.
Sean, if you don't want to keep it, I'll happily take it off your hands for you. I mean, if it's going to be that much of a burden on your soul, I'm more than happy to do my duty.
You see him sort of stop and look out into the surrounding area for a moment. He goes, yeah, I think that's actually fair. It would bring some burden off my mind. And he's going to reach in and pull out the 500 coin and give it to Celeste.
Wow.
She's kind of like
There you go.
holding this little, like, this big coin purse in her hand and goes, I'm glad to do you this favour, friend. And then she'll put it in her pocket.
I just don't feel comfortable with it, honestly, so...
Fair enough.
Guys,
Well-
I don't want to interrupt, but if we get any closer to the mill and we don't actually have any grain in our bags, we're going to be in a little bit of strife. If you remember, we discussed some solution to that. Does anybody have any ideas? Ingue, can you just maybe pause the horse for a second? I know that we're getting close to the mill. I'd rather try and sort it out before we get to where we can't come back. What do you think, guys? What should we do to fill up these bags?
Yeah. It's a tricky one, but without, I mean, unless we're spotted going back and forth, I think our only option is to simply go to the Jeremiah's farm and pick up 2 of those bags, maybe drop down the empty ones there and move on with them.
I did have an idea. It seems it's probably a little far-fetched and it might not work. And please tell me if it sounds stupid. Ingue, you said that you could talk with animals.
Yeah, all the time.
I wonder whether we could perhaps get one of your friends, an animal, to a larger one, to get the grain for us, so we don't have to go.
You can do that sort of thing?
Well, Luna can't pick up the bags. I mean, I could ask her to go and get them, but yeah, I can definitely ask the animals. I just don't know which animals to ask. It
needs to be a large one.
Yeah, but it also has to have hands, right? Like, I can ask Luna.
Of course,
she's the
yes.
only large.
Maybe like
we
a
could ask
bear.
the wolves. A bear. I haven't met any bears yet.
Are those the same wolves that fought? Are those the same wolves that fought with you the other day?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we could ask them. They told me to go away.
I don't think so. Yes.
They were like guarding something. Like it was their place that they were guarding. I mean,
Okay. Well, maybe it's not the right idea.
I can. Yes, I can turn into a horse, but then I couldn't pick up the bags because I wouldn't have hands anymore.
How long can you... First of all... You know what? No, never mind. It's cool. You guys carry on.
So, Ingue, you said you could become an animal. Could you become an animal could you become a horse?
I can look like anyone that I've met, and I can become any animal that I've met.
You can look like. No, don't get involved, John. Don't get involved.
So I could.
So look, Ingwe.
I can. I can.
If you
look
turned
like,
into a horse.
yes.
If you turned into a horse, could I ride on your back?
For sure. Can you ride horses? I mean,
Of course, of course. I grew up on a farm, of course. I just had this idea. Just give me a second, and Tam will snap his fingers, and he'll look exactly like not William.
yes.
I do.
What if we go together, you and I, you're a horse, not Luna, maybe a different horse, or you could be Luna, I mean, whatever.
I can be a different horse.
I'm not William. And we go there, we load the bags of grain, and we come back. We leave Celeste and John here, and we make haste to Jeremiah's farm, pick up the grain that we left 10 bags there, didn't we? We could pick up 2 extra bags, bring them back here, load them into these 2 sacks, because remember, these 2 sacks have the symbol on there, so we can't just take back 2 of the ones that we've left at the farm. We have to fill these ones. We could fill these ones, I could sew them up, and we could take them. So you and I could go back to Jeremiah's farm as Jeremiah and a horse. What do you think?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I can only be
What do
a
you think,
horse.
John?
I'm still processing the fact that he can turn into a horse, but
It's very cool.
and the fact that I'm looking at you and you look a lot like the guy who we didn't kill. I guess the one that was killed that we.
Hang on,
I mean,
John.
you know.
John, does this make it better? And he snaps his fingers, and now he looks like John.
Nope.
Is that better?
Nope. If the cart stopped, John at that point is going to hop off the cart and just go for a little walk. Just immediately. He just jumps up and just walks away a couple steps and just starts pacing back and
He's
forth.
just going to nope out of there.
100%.
Tam, that was very cruel of you. You know how he reacts to magic.
I'm
That was
sorry.
awful.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I know. I'm sorry. And Tam will snap his fingers. He's back to Tam again. He'll jump down off the cart and go over to Jean. Jean, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I apologise. I won't make fun of you anymore. I promise.
You play your little games. You do them with other people. All right. You don't need to do them with me.
Okay, Jean. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. It was insensitive. And I apologise. Please come back onto the cart.
Celeste is going to stand up on the back of the cart and go, "Hit him, Jean!"
Please, Jean, don't hit me, please.
That comment definitely causes a smile to crack along John's face, and he sort of goes, worst part is it's a damn good plan. All right. Right. And he starts walking back to the cart.
Oh, that was fantastic.
As he sort of hops on as well, he just looks at Celeste and quietly just goes, "Next time I goddamn might." And then sort of turns back.
She'll just wink at you.
Okay.
All
Ingwe,
right.
how long can you be a horse for, Ingwe?
I can be a horse for an hour, and I can also do your trick for an hour too. But I can only do it. I can't do it lots. I can do it once.
Okay, so what if we make our way back through town as somebody
around.
else?
We can just run.
Or we
just
could
run
go around.
Yeah.
How far is it from here to Jeremiah's farm? I don't think it was very far. I think
5
it was
minutes.
less than an hour.
Yeah, like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, so perhaps you could be a horse for that entire time. Yes.
I can also go fast. I can go faster than Luna can.
Yeah, so we could make our way there very quickly,
Yeah.
and then you can, well,
Because
if you go fast, I can't keep up.
no, you ride me.
Oh, as the horse.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
At just before, but when I'm a horse, I can understand you, but you can't speak horse. So, just know that I can understand you.
Okay, so when you're a horse, can you do this?
Yep.
Can you do this?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll only ask yes, no questions.
Oh, great. Okay. And so Ingue will hop down and pick up some dirt from the ground and put a big smudge of dirt on his face, and I will cast Longstrider on myself. And then I will turn into a warhorse, and you will see very similar to Ingue, how it was really long and lanky, not so bulky like a warhorse, but a very furball size horse.
Right here.
Yeah. But no barding or anything, so no saddle.
He's naked.
So Tam will lightly leap onto Ingwe's onto Ingwe's back, and he'll reach down and he'll pat Ingue on the flank, and are you good? Are you good, Ingue? All good?
Celeste will reach up her hand for a second and walk over towards Tam. And she's going to place her hand on his leg and then pull it back and whack him in the knee and go, "Don't forget you got a limp."
Ah, yes, of
And then
course.
turn around and walk back
Thank you, a limp.
towards
Okay.
the cart.
That hurt. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Just so you remember.
Okay, you could have just told me, but I appreciate that.
It's good. It'll burn it into your memory now. You feel that little sting and you go, "Oh yeah, that's right. I've got to have a limp."
That's right. Celeste hit me. Okay, no problem.
Which
Let's.
leg did you hit?
I hit the left one, I believe. It was the left one that Baal told us that he was limping on. And then, because I think the other William was limping on his right leg and it was wrong.
Yes.
I remember. Jean doesn't.
Okay, well, let's go. Yes. We'll see you guys back here. Maybe you should move the cart out of sight so that if anybody walks past, they don't wonder what on earth you're doing sitting on the side of the road with empty bags of grain.
Yeah, we'll pull it over somewhere, get it out of range, so to speak.
Okay. So Tam will reach down and whisper into Ingwe's ear, "Let's see how fast you can go, old friend."
Right here.
And Ingue, the horse, takes off really fast, 80 feet per turn.
Yeah, that's a little bit faster
Fast.
than Luna, that's for sure.
That's fast. So Tam is barely holding on. He's a good rider, but he's barely holding on.
Doesn't take long before you get to your destination. It's only about 5 minutes away anyway, so you arrive at the farm, and it looks very similar to as you left it, as far as you can see.
Actually, sorry, DM. I would have pulled up just before we got. So I would have pulled up before we actually got within eye shot of the farm.
Yep.
So I didn't. I wanted to get up close, but not so that if anyone's at the farm, they can see us.
Yep, no, that's fine.
Is that
We can
okay?
say that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, Ingue, okay, we're here. I think I might just send Sonos in to have a look before we go in there, just in case anybody's waiting for us. What do you think?
Ingue, the horse, will start eating some grass.
I'll take that as a yes. So I'll snap my fingers and bring Sonos. Sonos, can you come here?
Buddy! That was some crazy ass riding you did last night.
Hey, were you watching?
No. Maybe a little.
Because that's creepy. You know that.
I'm just trying to be a good servant and helper, eyes everywhere.
Sonos, we're going to have a talk about that. Anyway, we'll
Right.
talk about that later. We can talk about that. But look, I need you to do a favour. We're back at the farm where we were yesterday. We're going to get some grain. We need to fill up those bags before we take them back to the mill. We're within sight of the farm. I need you to go and scout to see if there's anybody there. We're concerned that maybe some of the bad guys have arrived since we've left. So do you think you could go and have a look for us?
Sure thing, boss.
Okay, buddy. Well, let me know if you see anything. Yes, and once you finish the rounds, you just tell me what you see and head on back.
Right. And he flies off. And a few seconds later, you hear a voice in your head saying, "I can't see anyone here. It's pretty empty. It's pretty moldy and gross, though."
Do you still see the blood on the walls?
Oh, yep. That's nasty. Probably shouldn't have licked that. Ugh.
Oh, okay. No, don't. No, okay. So nobody's there. You sure?
Yeah, I mean, the door was open, so it's not really a problem.
Okay. Can you do it once around the hut just to check out around the back where we did some planting?
Righty. He flies off. You do remember that you did close the door when you left. That door was closed when you left. Right, I don't think there's anyone here. It looks like everything's pretty much like last time we were here.
Did you say the door was open?
Yeah, it was already open when I was here. I just kind of flew in, did my thing, licked the wall. Apparently I shouldn't have.
Ingue, can you just keep an eye? I'm going to try to look through Sonus's eyes. I need you to keep an eye on both of us. I'm not going to be able to see out of this body whilst I look through Sonus's eyes. Can you keep an eye out for us, buddy? Okay. Sonus, I need to look through your eyes. I need to have a look. I need to see if anything's changed since we were there.
Alright, sure, no worries.
Okay.
I'll just zone out.
Okay. Okay, thanks, buddy. So Tam will put his hand up on Horse Ingwe's shoulder, and his eyes will glaze over, and he will look through Sonus's eyes. What I want him to do is to go back inside the house, inside the room, and have a look and see whether the room is in the same state that we left it in. So are the things where we left them yesterday?
So everything looks the same. All the doors are open, and you swear that you closed all of them. But other than that, it looks like you left it. If anyone's been in here, they definitely did a good job at cleaning it up.
Okay. I'll head back. I'll head around the back to where we buried the bodies.
Yep.
Do I see any signs of movement, any footprints or anything like that?
No, doesn't look like it.
Does it look like the earth is turned? Is the wheat still there growing?
Everything else outside looks like when you left it.
It's nothing changed.
No, there's maybe some marks of some rats that might have been digging through the grain, but not like excessively.
Okay, can I make my way around to where the sacks of grain were?
Yep.
Do they look like they've been disturbed?
Not other than the rat that might have chewed through some of it, but looks pretty much like you left it.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. In that case, I'll fly Sonus back, and Ingwe will come back to his body. Tam will come back to his body, and say to Ingwe, "Mate, looks like the coast is clear. Let's head in, yeah." Okay. So I'm just gonna grab 2 sacks of grain.
Right.
Going to put them up onto Ingwe's back. Actually, yeah, I'll put them up onto Ingwe's back for now. And I just want to, yeah, I want to go inside. I want to go inside to where the table was.
Yep.
So you said yesterday that there was a map, I believe.
It's a map of the farm, a map of the region of the Kingdom of Quill, and there was that piece of paper that Celeste took.
Okay, so I want to get all of the documents.
So you already taken it. You took it.
We've taken all of the documents.
Yeah.
So the maps and everything.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, I just wanted to make sure that we had those.
No, you have.
So I'll head back out. Okay, I'll head back out, jump back on Ingwe's back, and I'll whisper into Ingwe's ear, mate. This time when we go back, can we skirt around the town so that we're not going through, so that nobody sees us?
We would have done that on the way in. I wouldn't have gone through the town. I would have headed up through it.
Let's get back as quick as we can. And Tam's going to try to hold the bags of grain on Ingwe's back. Do his best. It's quite a bulky thing, I would imagine. Just be careful, Ingwe. We don't want to fall off and lose these sacks.
So I will go at half pace, which is 35 feet per turn.
Yep. No
problem. I'll just go at full pace. I won't dash. I'll go at 70 feet a turn.
Right. It's not a big problem because the grain sacks do have like a you can kind of hold on to the top of it and stuff like that. So it's not a big problem. You don't have a saddle and such. It's a little bit, you're kind of sliding down a little bit and have to catch yourself, but it's okay. It's not too bad. It's not like active combat maneuvering or anything like that. You're just riding in a straight line at this point, so it's pretty good.
Okay, so once we get back to the cart, do I see the cart? Can I see where it went?
Well, the cart's still exactly where you left.
No, the guys pulled it off the road.
We would have pulled it off a little bit to the side, bring it a little closer to the.
Yep.
Closer to the tree line. Jean would suggest that to Celeste, and yeah.
It's not a problem.
Ingwe probably can smell Luna.
Sweet.
I'll just jump off, grab the sacks, throw them in the back, and start to. I'll ask, hey, John, can you hold the sacks while I pour the grain into these old ones? Can you help us out?
Yep, no problem. And you see them.
Do they need to be transferred? I mean, we just said we were bringing 2 bags back. I didn't say they had to be in those bags. I mean, if we put them in the bags with that symbol on it, isn't that just going to draw more attention? If we return those bags, like, oh yeah, by the way, conveniently, these 2 ones that were specially marked symbols, we're bringing them back to you.
Could be. Although at the same time, if we return these ones, there could be less attention drawn to us for it, because they won't see that these bags are just... Nope, that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
They had gold in it, and then if we do it with the symbol on it, and all of a sudden it's got no gold, I think that's going to draw more attention to us.
You're right. As I was saying it, I realized that just means that we're going to have been known to be carrying these bags for longer, regardless.
Okay, well, let's not do the transfer. I completely agree with you. I wonder what should we do with these bags with the symbol? Should we dispose of them? Maybe bury them somewhere or something?
I was going to suggest fire, but burying sounds good.
Fire is good. I can dig a hole rather quickly, but I can also light a fire very quickly as well. I imagine you can too, Jean.
Or we could dig a hole, put them in, light them on fire, and then bury it.
We could.
All of those things sound very cool.
I'm going to suggest the burying, because fire can cause smoke, and smoke can draw attention.
I agree. All right, well, and Tam will jump off. He doesn't have a shovel, so I think he's just going to try and use his hands, I guess. Yeah.
Celeste is going to root around in like the bushes and tree line and try to find like a kind of like a curved stick that you can use to like kind of move dirt out of the way.
Very well.
Try and use that instead. You're not getting your hands dirty in that filth.
Jean would help out as well. I'm just double checking to see if he has anything for it, but regardless, he would jump in there even if he needed to use his hands to help take along as well.
So I don't think we need a very big hole. It's only some like folded up sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll chuck those in the hole, bury them over, jump back in the cart, and make our way back to the mill.
Right, yeah. No problem.
Ingwe's still a horse.
No problem, you definitely can do that.
He's just having a nice chat to Luna as they're walking down towards the mill.
Prancing.
They're just having a nice old conversation.
Oh no, Ingwe is hung like a horse. So he's doing
Jacob.
Too much information.
Jacob.
Horseway.
Luna's the first horse that he's ever met.
Okay, so how far away is the mill?
It's an hour away.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. Jean's also gonna, while out there, he's probably gonna leave most of his gear in the back. But he would have pulled out, which he doesn't keep equipped on him at all times. But he pulls out a longbow that he has from that usually protrudes out the top of his bag, and he's gonna pull that out with the quiver. So that way he just has that at the ready while they're moving.
Thank you.
Ingwe will probably go ahead, like not necessarily deliberately, but like he's moving a lot faster than the other group, so he'll like go around, because he only has an hour, so we've done maybe 20 minutes. So I reckon Ingwe will have got pretty close to the mill in maybe 15 minutes before everyone else gets there.
Yep.
But maybe like I would just be stupidly near the mill. What do I notice when I'm kind of running around being an idiot?
You don't really see anything specifically out of the ordinary. You see a whole bunch of people. There's some of them that looks a little bit weird, that a horse is just like running around wild in this area. But it doesn't seem to want to do anything about it. It seems like, oh, that's not my problem.
And no wolves in this area?
Not that you see, no.
No. Okay. So when we're about 15 minutes away, Ingwe would know that it's running out and would come back and kind of like run up to the group and then turn back into a furbolg mid-stride and then fall over.
So you're kind of at the bottom of this little hill where this mill is located on, where the little furbolg catches up with you and turns into a furbolg again.
Hey, there's Alfred. See anything in the stern? Up ahead, everything look alright?
Oh, it looks pretty much like it did yesterday. Yeah, and I've been running around scouting the forest to make sure that no one was following us. I don't think there's anyone following us. Yeah. What's the plan when we get to the mill?
I assume we're just dropping them off. I didn't even think to ask. And Jean's gonna sort of lean in the back. We just gonna keep this nice and simple. Just pull up, hand them off, let them know we seem to accidentally collect more. They were more than needed in the pickup area, and just see what happens and then get out of there.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember, Not William told us to do that. Remember, and let's just assume that none of that untoward stuff happened, and we just going about our journey. We're bringing back the grain. We'll say thank you very much, and off we go. I think there shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, sounds good to me.
Okay. Let's go.
Let's do it.
As you approach the mill,
Went up to the mill.
Looks like it did yesterday.
Can I look out especially for... I want to look for people wearing... I want to look for the symbol that was on the bag. On people, on sacks, on the building.
Yep. Make a perception check.
$12.
You don't really see any symbols of the sort, but it's not really... You didn't notice them when you were even here, so it could be that they're hidden, or it could be that there just isn't any.
once we get close as well, I'm going to lean in the back and be like, Tam, you see that individual you spoke to last time you were here?
Tam will scramble up to the front and have a look around. Does he see Carltonian?
Yep. He is doing exactly what he did yesterday, taking orders and directing people to where to go.
So yesterday when we were here, I believe there were five men. Are there? So 5 workers. Are there the similar sort of amount, or is there all of a sudden 10 of them or anything?
No, it's the same ones.
Okay. All right. Well, let's approach. Look, there he is, there, John.
All right.
Maybe if we make our way over to that dock where we went yesterday, and I can jump out and say good day.
Sure. If you want to hop off here, I'll bring us over there to the spot ready, and you can come let us know what to do.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to bring it over to the spot we collected the grains from.
So currently
And I'll make my
there's
way over
already,
to Inian.
other bags of grain in that specific dock, because it is an operation where they drop them off and then someone picks them up and such like that. So. And
Okay,
you
so
approach the guy.
I'll approach. Say, Mr. Thinian, well met. Well
Oh,
met.
hello again. Are you back for more grain already?
No, actually, we took the grain that we picked up from you yesterday.
Right.
We went back to Jeremiah's farm. We dropped the grain off, and I said hello to Mr. William for you.
Right.
He seems okay. He does seem to have something of a limp. I believe he was injured in some way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think you mentioned that. But when we dropped the grain off, we didn't. I didn't notice anyway. I think one of my friends did. He can count better than I can. Mr. Williams said. Mr. Williams said there were too many sacks. So we offered. We're looking for more gold, you see. So we offered to take them back for him. So here we are. We have 2 extra bags. We didn't want to be untoward. We didn't want to be accused of taking more than our share. So here we have. You can see over there. You see Jean. He has the bags.
Oh, okay. Thank you for bringing them back. That's very honorable of you. Yeah, it happens sometimes. My brother has a tendency to miscount, I think.
Yeah, no problem. Look, it happens to the best of us. I didn't even know they were there. Obviously, I can't count very well either. Yeah, I guess is it okay if we just put them back in that loading bay there?
Just put them over there on the side instead, because the loading bay is already someone else's at this point. But yeah, also make it.
Okay, no problem. Oh yeah, I don't
say
have
William
glasses.
was okay.
So that is a 16.
Right. He doesn't seem to react to anything you say. He seems to go along with whatever you say.
Okay, so I'll just make my way back over to the cart. Say to Jean, we'll just put them over here. Yeah, you grab one, I grab one.
All right. Yep.
We'll dump them where Carl told us to put them. Jump back on the cart and make our way off. I'll say, bye, Mr. Thinian. It's a pleasure to doing business with you again. We will hopefully see you soon. Yeah, we'll come back and buy some more grain.
All right, bye. And you hear the 4 other guys also say bye when you mention Finian.
Oh, they're all Thinians. Of course they
All
are.
brothers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make our way back to the.
Clearwater Inn.
We're going to the farm as well. Yeah, we're gonna.
Right. Yeah.
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 So we'll go past Clearwater Inn,
Right.
go towards the farm, and this is when we're going to pretend to find the bodies. Is that the deal?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, let's go on our way for some subterfuge. Yes.
I mean, yeah, sounds good to me. So just want to make sure we're all on the level here. So we're gonna head back now, as though we're returning the cart and horse. That's when we discover the incident, and then we return back to the inn to inform Baal of what we found.
Yes. We remember we don't find any bodies because there aren't any there. We found blood, and some sign of a scuffle. Some singe marks on the floor. It looks like somebody tried to light a fire in the doorway. And we made our way back here quickly. I think we should perhaps look a little rattled. What do you think?
I don't think I'll have to put that on much, to be honest. But yeah.
Okay. So I guess we go out of sight of the village.
Right.
Go around the outside, go around the outskirts.
Very well.
We could cut through it this time as well, because we're just returning it.
Yeah, on our way through, and then once we get to the other side, we'll pull over up the front here, so now I guess we should wait a few minutes, maybe wait 20 minutes or something, and then we'll come back.
Should I scream?
Yes, of course.
Right, so like 5 minutes in, I'll let out like a really big blood-curdling scream.
Right. Make a performance.
And then we'll race back.
That's very impressive. So maybe, Ingue, can you get some pace on Luna for us? Yes.
Yeah, Luna, can you run back for us?
And
then
what?
I can't hear her talk. She can hear me, but I can't.
She doesn't seem to really respond to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got a dirty 20 for my blood-curdling scream.
It sounds so real that you kind of just have to check that she's actually okay. Very well done.
Sean's definitely thrown from it for a moment, and then looking over, seeing everything's fine, he just...
Remember I said I was going to? It's all good.
Yeah, so I was distracted as he sort of looks down at his forearm again and pulls
It was very convincing.
Can I take a short rest while we're traveling in the back of the cart?
Where are you trying to travel to at the moment? You trying to travel back to the farm, or what are you doing?
From the mill.
So we went to the other side of the town. We went out of sight of the town, and we spent 20 minutes pretending to be at the farm. Celeste did her scream, and I imagine in that time, Ingue might have had some time to take a rest.
Yeah, that's fine. You can have a short rest if you want. If you want. Yeah. But no problem.
Sweet. And now we're booking it back to the inn, right? Make it seem like we're returning urgently. Sweet.
Right. You eventually arrive.
Right, everyone look flustered.
So as soon as we pull in, Tam is going to do like a Baywatch jump off the cart, and run into the inn. And I'll look around. Mr. Baal, are you here?
Hey, what's up, my friend?
Oh my goodness, Mr. Baal. We went to the mill. We dropped off the bags, and we went back to Jeremiah's rest to drop off the cart and the horse. And oh my God, my light! There was blood everywhere. There's something terrible has happened. I couldn't see Mr. William or Miss Anne or anything. Something terrible has happened.
It was awful, and the smell, you wouldn't believe it. We were looking, in the house for them. We couldn't find them anywhere. We opened the door, and there was blood everywhere.
And there were signs of a scuffle.
It's like something had exploded in the middle of the room. There was just all this stuff shoved up against the walls. It was horrible.
I don't understand. I thought everything was
We
alright.
don't either.
Alright,
Well, we thought maybe you heard something. If something
No.
exploded, maybe you would have heard it from here.
I didn't hear anything. I wasn't really here. When you went to the farm, I was somewhere else.
Is there
We have to
a
probably
guard
tell
or
the mayor of this
Yeah,
incident.
of course.
Give me a moment and I'll find him. That's very disturbing. Are you all right?
A little shaken up, perhaps.
All right, well,
Um,
sit
I-
down, have something to drink or something, and I'll find the mayor for you, and I'll be right back. Oh, sorry to hear
Okay,
that.
poor Mr. William. Such a terrible thing.
Jean would be outside as well, remaining with the cart, partly putting on a show of concern with his longbow sort of in his hand, but he's also legitimately concerned because of what we were told about this group, and he's keeping an eye out for anyone who looks suspicious in the area.
So, I need you all to make a deception check. It's a group deception check.
Deception.
Now, because I didn't sleep last night, I have a point of exhaustion, right? So I'd have this
you do.
disadvantage.
You do, unfortunately, yes.
Weird.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Nice. And Ingue,
12 for me.
that's good too. And Sharonka.
12 for me.
Deception, good old 5.
Alright, and Celeste.
23.
Jesus Christ. Alright, that's a pretty good old roll. He heads off and then tries to find this mayor individual, and after a while he comes back with this individual as well. What were you trying to... You were trying to do a perception check as well, were you, John?
Yeah, I was just trying to keep an eye out for suspicious people, anyone who looks like they might belong to a thieves guild,
Right,
or
make a
as
perception.
described. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. Disadvantage all day, baby. Woo! Perception. Oh, thank God. 16.
Doesn't seem to be anyone that stands out to you as not being a farmer or someone who
Okay.
belongs here. Even the mayor, when he comes back, he's mostly dressed in brown clothes, mostly like leathery clothes and stuff like that, with a
Yeah.
kind of a farmer's hat. It's not really like when someone says mayor, it usually means something a little bit more fancy, but not
Yeah.
in this place, that's for sure.
Sean would definitely think that Baal returned for not being able to find the mayor and just grabbed someone else. So, yeah, totally fair.
Looks like this was a turnip farmer.
Yeah.
But he does come back with the mayor. Hey, so this gentleman here is actually the mayor of the village, and if you just tell him what you told me, and maybe we can figure out what's going on. Come in and sit down, please. And he leads you back to your table.
Seeing them return as well, Jean would make his way in after that as well.
So this
Celeste
here
is like fanning tears in her eyes.
This here is
Mr.
Samson.
Mayor.
He's the village mayor.
Mr. Sampson, thank you so much for coming at such short notice. I understand, being a mayor, you must have so many things on, but something terrible has happened.
Right, I was cooking the bacon when it was that I was interrupted. But what seems to be the problem?
Mr. Sampson, it's terrible. We were running some errands for Mr. William out at Jeremiah's farm.
Yeah.
We yesterday we were there. We dropped off some goods and we took some back to the mill. There seemed to have been a mix-up, and we dropped some things back at the mill. We went back today to Jeremiah's farm, and my goodness, William was gone. Anne was gone. There was blood everywhere. The whole house had been turned over like something as terrible has happened. There were burn marks all over the floor. It was awful.
Right. Well, that doesn't seem very good.
The smell. You cannot imagine the smell.
No,
Oh, yes, the smell.
dead people usually smell really bad. We had a few fellas getting killed here a few years ago, and it didn't smell that nice. No. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that about William, but we'll have to obviously investigate that. I'll get some Crown's guards to come and investigate that. I just need to get your names in case they need to talk to you.
Of course. Anything we can do to help.
So what is your name, young boy?
Happily.
I'm Tam Corthan.
Oh, yeah, alright, yeah. Mm-hmm. And where are you from?
I'm from Helga's Rest.
You mean Helga's Fred?
Yes, Helga's Fret, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty close. What about you, little fluffy dude?
I'm Ingue.
Right.
I'm traveling. I've been traveling all over.
Right. Where do you come from?
I don't know what my house is. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what you'd call it. This is the first town that I've ever been to.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna write mental. And your next gentleman here with the voluptuous beard and yeah.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The name's Jean Ordenfall.
Mm-hmm.
I reside from a little south of the Duvet Forest.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting place. I do like to go hunting there from time to time. It's beautiful.
It is in the right weather.
That is true. That is true. And you, young lady, what's your name and where are you from, if I might not be as bold?
Thank you for the young. I appreciate that. My name is Celeste, and I hail from Riddle Run.
Right. All right. Riddle Run. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting place to be from, but yeah. Well, I mean, we all get to know each other over time if you're all neighbors like this. I will forward this on to the King's Guard, and they will come and investigate as soon as possible. It might take a month or two, but just be mindful that you might receive a letter for some kind of official inquiry or something. I don't know. If there's nothing else, I'll go back to
if you are
cooking
sending
my
out
bacon. Yes.
Well, I was just going to add, if you are sending letters out and you need to contact, probably don't send it to my residence over in Duvet Forest. I also have residency in Loch Sebel, which would be
Right.
a better place to notify me if necessary.
Right. I'll note that down. Okay. All right. I will contact you if I need to. Are you associates of Mr. Baal here?
So yeah, I guess we would be.
Right. It might be easier to contact him then.
We are in his employ.
Right. I will contact him and he will contact you. I'm sure that he... Yes. I will go back to my bacon now. Thank you for letting me know. I hope you're alright. Blah, blah, blah. I'm very hungry. I'll see you later. And he just walks off.
Oh, well, he was charming.
He's a bit of a mouthful.
A little bit.
Well, I'm glad we got that sorted. Thank you for your assistance, Baal.
Right. That's why I'm here. I hope you're alright.
Just a little bit shaken, but we should be okay.
Right. Do any of you want a drink?
Tam, I can't quite hear you there, but I'll take some.
Right.
I do. I could definitely use an ale right now. I feel like it's been a few years since I've seen anything quite like that.
Right, all right. I'll get 4 ales to come over, and you can have something to drink if you like. If not, just leave it, and I'll have it myself. And after a while, 5 ales arrive at the table. But the mayor has gone.
Periodically, from once the mayor left, you see Jean just glancing down at his forearm and then sort of like looking back and trying to pay attention to the conversations at hand best he can, but he's distracted.
Fair enough. Right.
Celeste will probably down her ale in like 2-3 mouthfuls.
Yeah, Tam will do the same.
Well, just
The King's Guard.
Yes.
The King's Guard. I'm so excited to meet a King's Guard. My mother told me that they ride unicorns. I'd love to meet a unicorn.
I would also be very interested to see if any of the King's Guard around here are riding unicorns.
I almost choked on my damn drink.
Ingue, I don't think certainly no King's Guard I've ever seen have ridden unicorns, just ordinary horses, in my experience.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I'm sorry. We may be able to find a unicorn once we've finished with Mr. Baal here. Maybe we can try and go on an adventure and see if we can find your unicorn. We can do whatever we want, really. Now, Mr. Baal, you mentioned another job for us. I think in the circumstances it's probably better to get on and keep busy.
I like the way you think. That's good. Yes, I do have another job for you. There's a village, or it's a little bit of a bigger village than this one. It's not so far away from here. It's called Calencourt. They seem to be having some issues there, and because of the Crown's Guards' lack of presence in certain of these outskirts cities, they are looking for some assistance in looking into a matter at hand.
Okay. Do you have how far away is Calencourt?
Oh, it's about 2 days ride away from here, so you'd probably have to do
2 days ride. What direction? It's
towards the north from here.
2 days ride north.
Yeah.
And do you have any idea about the nature of the problem that they're having?
Yes, first off, there's another caravan leaving tonight as well, or today actually, not too long away. That's going the same way, so if you want to, you can travel with them. Sometimes there's safety in numbers on these roads, but that's up to you. First one. Other thing is that it's a bit of a missing persons request. They have had some issues with a few of their individuals gone missing over the last few weeks. And they are crying for help, but it seems like the mayor has not gotten any assistance or even been responded to by the King's Guard as of yet. So he reached out to me to offer 150 gold for someone to come and figure it out and stop it.
Of course.
Would we be looking for a particular individual, or is this a widespread problem that we're looking to solve?
Well, it seems like they've been having a few people missing. I don't have the details of the names at this time. However, it looks like there's probably about 5 individuals that have gone missing from different families over the last 2 weeks. And of course, that is a growing concern. There's plenty of things in the woods around here. So, yes, that's where you come in.
The person that we need to talk to in Calencourt, could you give us a name?
It's the mayor of the Calencourt. His name is, if I can find my notes. I just swear I just wrote this down. Badoza. His name is Bud.
Okay, so we
no.
head to
Wrong name. Orlando Santori. Sorry, wrong line.
Orlando Santori. Okay, so we head north 2 days to Calencourt, and we want to speak to Mayor Orlando Santori regarding a missing persons investigation. Will you be paying us, Baal, or should we expect payment from Orlando, Mr. Santori?
In this specific situation, I am not able to collect the money from him before, so you'd have to go there. And then he will pay you for this one.
That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Do you have any personal knowledge of this area of Calencourt?
It's a little bit of a village. There is a few people living there, a few more people than here, of course. They do have a very nice inn there. It's called the Clumsy Lowlife. I'm sure that you can appreciate the joke. However, I think there's a little bit more to it than this little awful village, if you know what I mean. There is not a lot of different things to do here for individuals as yourself. But lucky me that you came my way, and then we ended up working together. The reason I said Badosa was because that's the owner of the inn. Sorry, I frequent inns a lot more than I actually talk to people. Sorry about that.
Okay, so you mentioned that there was another caravan heading north.
Yes.
Do you have any details of that caravan? Who's in charge, and who do we need to speak to?
Oh, I don't think anyone specifically are in charge. I think that there's just a few individuals who are traveling the same direction that has teamed up together and are going to Calencourt. I don't know the specifics of those individuals either.
Okay, so do we meet them here?
They're already setting up, ready to go, so I'm guessing that if you wish, you could travel with them.
Of course. I think that's everything. Jean, Celeste, Ingue, do you have any? Have we missed anything?
Are we to meet you back here, Baal?
No,
Or
I will
shall you
come
be
and
meeting us
contact you when
there in
you're
the
done
future?
here. I will come to Calen's court whenever I'm done here, so it shouldn't be too long. I do have one question for you. I am because of this whole new working together. Which color would you like your tent to be? I am providing you a great tent. I just have to get it made first. I just want you to know which color.
I'm impartial myself.
Maybe like a dark green or something. So if we're camping out at night time, we can camouflage in the trees.
Right.
Or dark brown, perhaps.
Celeste, that was exactly what I was going to suggest. When we were in the military, we had very, very similar to the clothes I have on, like a dark olive drab green.
Right, so green and brown is pretty much what you're going for.
I don't often set up tents.
Right. Well,
what do you think, Ingue?
Organize that. Right.
Mr. Baal, I'm just a little bit worried about Luna.
Yes.
If you're traveling around, who's going to look after Luna?
Well, considering how old she is, I don't think that anyone would be interested
I'm sure
in
you
taking
saw.
her. I will speak to the mayor. If you wish, keep the cart, keep the horse, keep the cart for now at least, and then I will sort it out with the mayor so he knows that this has taken place, and I will pay the necessary homage if I need to. That way you can travel together with style.
All right, sounds good to me.
I will get this tent made for you, and I will try to bring it with me when I go to see you in Calencourt. It just takes a little bit of time to produce it, so to speak.
Okay.
Right.
Before we go,
Brilliant.
we might need to purchase some supplies. Can you recommend somewhere that we could go to purchase any provisions that we might need?
Well, there's the general store here. If you have any specific requests, you can always ask me, and I can try to sort it out. But it might not necessarily be as easy as it sounds. It depends on situation, of course. I think the caravan,
Yes,
as far
of
as I
course.
understand, is leaving in about an hour or so. So, if you give me a list, I will try to accompany it as best as I can.
Well, I do have a few things that I'd like to take with us, if that was okay.
Right.
Should we go to the store?
Well, I believe Mr. Baal said that he could procure those items for us.
I can organize it. I
Before
get a
we leave in
discount
an
anyway.
hour.
Yes. What do you think?
Works for me, gives
Or-
us a chance to freshen up before we get on the road. I didn't get a chance to have a bath this morning, so...
Oh, no one would ever know.
I don't know.
I've never been to a store.
Right.
I don't particularly need anything myself, so
I'll
don't
organize
bother
for
me,
some
don't worry, anyway,
provisions.
They're not that interesting.
Right. I'll give you some provisions. You'll have to spend the night outside. But with the safety of numbers, maybe you'll be alright. So what is your special request there, Tam?
Yes, of course. Thank you for indulging me. There were a few things that I wanted, if that's okay.
Right.
I'd really just if we're camping and we're setting up a bivouac, I believe we should have some tools to make this work a little easier. If we could possibly have a shovel or a spade, something to dig holes.
Right.
A shovel would be lovely. Also, a small saw, like perhaps about this long. If for excuse the gore, as for removing limbs if we should need to.
Wow, that got dark real fast. Alright,
Well,
sure,
I'm
we
sorry.
can do that.
Sometimes,
whew,
sometimes in my trade, these things happen. It's better to lose a limb than lose a life. Yes.
I assume so, yeah. Ooh.
Yes. So a shovel, a saw, a hammer.
So general tools.
A butcher's
yes.
cleaver.
Yes, a tools. Really,
Right.
a healer's kit. A healer's kit. Something for
Right.
combat medicine. I wasn't able to pack all of those things into my backpack, but given that we have time, we have a wagon. If I do need to perform any emergency surgery in the field, I'd like to be able to have these items with us, if that was okay.
Sure, that seems like a perfectly reasonable request. I can organize for that. That's no
Okay.
problem. I will sort out the payment later whenever you get paid for this job. We'll have a talk about the costs.
And the last thing that I hoped, and you might be unable to help us, but a number of healing potions, if they were available.
I think in this area it might be a little more tricky.
What is? Sorry if I may. What exactly is a healing potion now?
Oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
Yes, so it's possible with the right knowledge and experience and the ingredients to prepare a drink of sorts. Think about it like a mixture, like a soup, but it has
Sure.
a magic and particular elements, particular ingredients. We mix those together, and it's actually able to heal a person without the application. So of course I can heal with the lady's light, but let's say for instance you were some distance away from me, you would be able to drink one of these concoctions, and it would actually cure any wounds you might have, any hurts.
So this is basically like what you did to Ingue, but
Yes.
in a cocktail.
Yes,
Little-
it's in a manner of speaking. Yes, it's very, very different, but also quite similar at the same time.
Healing
Okay.
soup. I never heard that.
Okay,
one.
maybe. Okay, maybe magic's. Magic's not that bad overall, I guess.
No,
Alright.
of course.
Good thing you've been practicing carrying all those bags of grain, Tam, because you're going to be carrying all of these extra things, I hope you know.
We have a wagon.
Right. Well,
We're taking the wagon with us.
I'll try to see what I
We
can
need
do
to
about the.
trek off somewhere.
I'll see what I can do about the healing potions, but I don't think I'll be able to get some quite that soon. Maybe when we meet up in Calencourt, I'll be able to acquire some on the way. But for now, I think that might be trickier. They're pretty expensive as well. But let's talk about
also,
that when we meet up again later, maybe.
One last thing, if you could perhaps procure us a side of bacon.
A side of bacon?
Yes.
Right.
My friend Ingue here has discovered a taste.
Oh, right.
Is there a butcher?
In here, yeah, there's a butcher here in this place, yeah. There's a butcher in Calencourt as well, or whichever you're after. It's not a problem.
I'd like to. I'll go there on the way myself.
Right. Well, it's on the way out of the city anyway, so you might be able to stop by before you leave. Well,
all right.
If
Should
you are
get our things together.
If you wish, we can meet here in about an hour or so, and I'll take care of my end of this bargain, and then yeah, we'll just have a quick chat, and then we can be on our way.
That sounds perfect.
Right.
Awesome.
And I think it's time for a break as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Sweet.
So we will go to break, and we'll be back in about 13 minutes. I need to go to the bathroom, that's for sure. So, I'm just gonna put us on the next one here. Be right back. Are you looking for a more exotic or sophisticated choice in dice? You should check out Level Up Dice, the company of experts in specialty dice, made from materials like semi-precious stones, aluminium, and even have options for wood and bone dice. The designs are so beautiful it's hard not to find something which fits your next character. Level Up is an Australian-owned company and also run the Level Up TTV Twitch channel focusing on broadcasting tabletop role-playing games. Follow a link below when purchasing from Level Up Dice. It will greatly help support our channel and also help an Australian local retailer. Level Up Dice, the sophisticated choice. Monsters and Mayhem is sponsored by Miniporium.net, a huge selection of highly detailed miniatures for any tabletop role-playing game. Check out the beautiful miniatures, and if you use the code MAYHEM, all capital letters, at checkout, then you receive a 30% discount. In the beginning there was nothing. From the nothing sprung forth a something. The something was not a who or it. The something simply was. The something began roaming the nothingness and found itself alone. In solitude the something became the somethings. Multiple somethings sprung forth of the something, each with its own voice and presence. The somethings, as great as divine as they were, all needed something to measure their own greatness by. They created the first earth, and by doing so, became gods. The first earth was not perfect. In fact, it had many flaws. Because it was made as a circle, most things placed upon it would fall off the sides into the nothingness. The gods grew furious about the earth, and they cut it in half to make it flat. The excess was simply pushed aside and forgotten, at least for a while. The second earth was perfect, flat and vast. Each god began to populate it with creations and land masses of their dreams. Each god creating beings of their very own. Soon the world was full of inhabitants, and they all began to watch over their creations with anticipation. However, many creations did not turn out the way the gods had hoped for, and a lot of animosity was born over the first few years. The creations would go to war with each other and even themselves. Some of these wars even spilled into the realm of the gods, where the gods themselves would command their creations to destroy another god's creation. The gods were eager to prove themselves better than another, and a long bloody war was fought throughout the first era of the first 3,000 years. A massive war for survival was fueled by the gods themselves as the world began to burn. They started to see their own mistakes. The gods made many sacrifices and separated some races from others by magic or by using the elements of nature. They tried to stop their creation, and slowly a peace of sorts came to be. And such the second era came to be with peace and kindness as its goal. Not every god nor every creature followed the peaceful ways, and some even broke away from their gods after such events. But for now the god wars were over, having successfully separated their creation to an extent, minimizing the overall doomsday and averting full chaos. For almost another 3,000 years, the races had been completely separated. The gods had made a plan. The God Gate, located now in the Kingdom of Quill and where the borders of Okorlan is, had been inscribed with one of the family's life forces, the Karameshi. Once a descendant of that family were to attempt to open the God Gate, all races would once again have free reign. At the end of the 3,000 years, an unknown member of the Karameshi touched the God Gate, unlocking the prophecy. The mountain chains and oceans dividing the rages all came down all over the realm. Great panic and rejoice at the same time, as creatures that had once only heard fairy tales of each other now once again stood face to face with one another. The gods had hoped that the last 6,000 years would have been enough for everyone to learn to coexist. But from the start the tension already started building again. Whatever fragile piece was on the table seemed to crumble and regather from time to time. But the time of the wars was surely not over. There was now other entities who spread darkness across the world. Maybe the world had learned its lesson, or maybe it was doomed to repeat it. Welcome to the world of Epidos, where adventures are born, heroes are forged, and villains are always up to mischief. The Kingdom of Quill lies in the middle of it all, the heart of human civilization, at least if you ask them. To the north lies the cold Shadanon, where Northling constantly test the borders to the kingdom with raids and invasions. To the south lies the desert lands of Sahani, ruled by self-proclaimed princes and empresses. The tension is at an all-high after a failed invasion into the kingdom years ago still sends trouble both ways. To the southeast lies the Dragon Empire, a proud people ruled by the Dragon Emperor, who according to legend are a descendant from a real dragon. The Empire has been locked in a cold war with the kingdom for generations, blocking all travel from entering the nation. But for the common folk, it's Monday. The birds are flying low and it looks like it may rain.
Jean Ordenfall spent his childhood on his family's farm, just south of the Duvet Forest. His parents, Derlin and Macy, raised him well, teaching him what he needed to know to one day take over. Financially, they did quite well for themselves, carting their crops to nearby towns and cities for sale, although the frigid weather that often surrounded their home did not make it an easy life. As is the case with most youngins living the farm life, Jean eventually sought to see what else the world had to offer, and so he left in search of what opportunities the neighboring city had for him. It wasn't long before he realized the city life was not his to live. The boy who left, though, had become a man, and the man had met a woman. blacksmith's daughter by the name of Cerithia. They fell for each other quick, and before they knew it, their love blossomed into a marriage and a son. The son they named Derlin, after Jean's father. Jean eventually returned home to his parents' farm with his family, where they made a life for themselves, a new life for his wife and son, but one all too familiar to Jean. They were happy. That is, until the day vile creatures from beyond the veil made their way into their home. After being driven from his homeland by the insatiable undead that now plague it, Jean seeks out those brave enough to aid him in cleansing his land of the foul fate that befell him and his family, and exacting the vengeance he so eagerly thirsts for.
As a child, Celeste Highcrest would never have dreamed of leaving the sheltered life of luxury she had become accustomed to. Born to two noble parents in a land far beyond the Vale, Celeste's childhood had been fraught with expectation. Her father, High Archivist Saran Highcrest, had set high standards for his two children, and the elder of those two elves, Celeste's sister Cressida, had surpassed all of them. Cressida had found her talents at an early age, her nose buried in books, and magic coming to her as easy as breathing. Celeste, however, had struggled in the shadow of her sister's success for as long as she could remember, never quite meeting the expectations of her father, and always the object of his disappointed glances. When the two elves came of age, they sat the entrance exam to join their father at the sanctum, to become mentored under his tutelage and scribe ancient texts in the archives. Cressida, to no one's surprise, had passed the exam with overwhelming success. Celeste, on the other hand, held true to her long-standing tradition of always being second best. It was rare that one should ever choose to leave their homeland, but never being able to escape the constant overshadowing from her sister, Celeste had decided it was finally time to break free of this tradition. For here, she would always be Cressida's sister, never her own person. But if she were to leave, perhaps she could finally forge her own path. She found her way to the dimension door, stepping through for the first time and finding herself in a land strangely familiar, yet unlike anything she had ever experienced. She boarded the first ship she came across, bound for the kingdom of Quell, and spent years travelling these oceans between continents, desperate to find something worthy enough to bring home as tribute to her family. Until one day, the news found her. The door that she had stepped through to enter this plane had vanished, along with every other door that could lead her home. Now stuck, seemingly an entire universe between her and her homeland, Celeste is searching for answers, and some miracle that could lead her home again.
A young half-elf, Tam Corthan grew up working the land with his father and learning herblore and healing from his elven mother. After a horrible childhood accident, he swore he would avoid violence, unless he had no other choice. When the war came, like every Corthan for generations before him, Tam enlisted to fight for his king. During the bloody battle for King's Helm, Tam's selfless efforts to heal his friends caught the eye of the celestial Aethia, and she became his patron, giving him the gift of celestial healing. His courage in battle did not prevent him from drawing the ire of his superiors. His compassion was blind, and he would heal all in need, even the enemy. After the end of the war, Tam worked as a healer in the villages outside Crackvolm, hoping to save enough money to gain entry to the Healers Guild. After a series of unfortunate events, Tam finds himself in debt to a very wealthy and very criminal cartel boss. Pinned between his compassion and his new master, Tam tries to make the best of his situation, dreaming of a day where he can live his life in freedom.
Ingue grew up in an exclusive, reclusive community of druids. His elders, ancient and wise, one of the greatest, his mother, was a great storyteller, and he grew up sharing their stories. While the community has very strict rules and customs and routines. Each member is encouraged once in a lifetime to travel out into the world and experience the trials and tribulations, bring back their challenges to share, and to tell the story of the world.
Rightio, and we should be back again in 2 seconds when the cameras refresh. There we go. That was mine. I'll cast the magic. There we go. 2 more. So, everyone is back again, and everything looks like it is completely like it was before. Cool. Just checking. So, because we have a break, I'm just going to do the announcements that we did to begin with again. First one is that we are not going to be streaming to this channel from now on. Next Monday, we'll be streaming to our own channel. There should be some links in the chat. So finally, we can get this Monsters and Mayhem wagon off the runway. That could be
Get
really
some
cool.
mayhem!
Yes, get some mayhem. And the second announcement, I put that somewhere here, is that we have a giveaway. So the details for the giveaway and the link to this giveaway sign up is on our Discord channel. That will also hopefully be linked in the chat, or I will call the president. We're giving away 2 things. One is a D&D starter set. The other thing is a really cool mini from miniporium.net. Has sponsored our
Go
show.
Miniporium! Woo!
Yes, they have some insane
beautiful.
minis, and we are lucky to be working with them. Hope they feel as lucky to be working with us as well, especially with all these technical difficulties. But anyway, so we'll be doing that. So keep an eye on our Discord channel. As soon as you sign up, all the details will be laid out for you. Anyway, I think that was enough of announcements, and let's get back into it. So, you are still in the Clearwater Inn, prepping for your travel to go to Calencourt.
So Celeste would have gone upstairs, I suppose, because I think we said it was like an hour that we'd have before Baal got back from getting Tam's grocery list. So she's going to run upstairs, get changed into a pair of more traveling clothes, more than everyday clothes. Brush her hair back, put it in a high ponytail. Have a little bit of a, what do they call them, Hors baths, where you just get a face cloth and just kind of wipe your nether regions, just make sure you're all fresh as a daisy. She'll upstairs do that, pack her stuff, and then be back down, probably buy herself an ale, and just sit at the counter kind of waiting for everyone to wrap themselves up.
Right.
John would just pretty much put his go back out to the cart, put his bow back into his backpack with his quiver and that, and then just sit there and just sharpen his weapons, make sure everything's all okay, and just be waiting in the back of the cart, ready to go.
Gotcha. And Ingue, what would you be doing for this hour?
I would go to all the shops.
Of course you would.
I'm not really specifically looking for many different things. Just looking because it's a new place. I'd probably spend most of my time in the butcher.
Right.
Particularly if they were butchering meat.
They would be butchering meat at the time,
and then I would. Yeah.
So are you just watching them, or are you purchasing something, or what is your plan?
Yeah, and I'd purchase some. I'd just pick some things.
Right, like some bacon and lamb chops and such.
What animals are they butchering?
Mostly pigs. There is some
lambs and pigs.
Some cows and what's it called? Some chickens. There's a little bit of everything. Mostly it's like there's a lot of meat in this little region because it is a farm village. So obviously that's that.
Yeah, and can I get a cleaver from the general store?
Yes, no problem. I think overall, including the meat that you're buying and the thing, I'd say probably 4 silver. You get away with most of that. It's a large pack of meat of various sources. And some bacon. Always bacon.
He's a meaty lad.
He is now. Fair enough. Anything else you'd do in that hour?
Be looking at everything. So I probably want to notice. I'd particularly notice any of the symbol that was on the. Like if it's anywhere in the village, and I'm not necessarily looking for it, but I'm looking at everything. So any of the Thieves Guild symbol, anywhere in the village, and really paying attention to the animals that are around.
Right. So you don't notice any of those symbols anywhere else. It's pretty specific, so it would stand out a little bit. Animal-wise, you have pigs and chickens and ducks and pheasants. Cows and chicken. Sorry, I already said chicken. Cows and bulls, and there will be like cats and dogs and all that kind of normal farm life. You already seen rats before, but there's rats here too, of course. And you do notice a deer in the forest, running away from the city, but most of it is general farm life.
Cool, thank you.
Nice. And Tam, you're still staying at the inn for the time being? Or where are you going?
Actually, Tam's going to take the opportunity to do a little bit of foraging for medicinal herbs. He isn't necessarily well versed in this area. This part of the kingdom. However, as far as he knows, there are some common herbs that you can find in most places in the kingdom. So he would make his way to the edges of the village and do some foraging.
Right, make an investigation check to see how well it turns out. Actually, survival check. Investigation or survival, depends on which one you think you would be using.
Mm-hmm. I think probably investigation. I think because he's looking for something in particular. He's keeping an eye out for any herbs that he might be familiar with.
Right. Make a
KO.
roll.
It's only a 9. Maybe things around here aren't as familiar as he'd hoped.
Most of what you find is like weeds and stuff like that. There are some of them that has some medicinal purposes. It's mostly for a mild painkiller. If you give it to children, for instance, it could probably work, but for adults, it's not necessarily that good.
That's okay. Foraging's like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
I will make my way back to the inn and make sure that everybody's water skins are full. Make sure everybody has water, and just make sure all the kit is ready to go, and the horse is well hitched, and make sure her bridle and all of her tack is in good working order. The cart is also in good working order, and you sit down next to Jean, I guess.
Right. Before you do, you see a familiar face in the crowd coming towards you. Logan Riker, your old sergeant. He looks a little different than usual, though. He's wearing a white tunic with golden trimmings on it and a golden gauntlet on the front. Haven't quite seen him wear this before, but you do recognize the symbol as being the Golden Suns, which is a very famous part of the army. It is a special unit. Most of them protect royals and perform individual tasks that are harder for ordinary military units to perform. They're like a special unit, if you can say it like that, special unit. You haven't seen him wear this before. This is new to you, but you also haven't seen him in a few years. He has his long brown hair, he's a human, and he has a smile on his face as he sees you. And he comes closer, and he gives you a big hug. Ah, Tam. Imagine running into you here.
By the light! Sergeant, you're here! My goodness, look at you! Have you joined the Sons?
Yes, I have actually just been accepted. I am to be knighted as well.
By the light! You must have come across some luck, you old dog.
Well, I never really sleep, so it is.
Of course.
It's been coming a long time, but I'm gonna be knighted by the king's brother himself, Bastian. It's gonna be amazing. I finally get to join the regiment of my dreams. You should join us.
By the light. Oh my goodness. Oh, Sergeant, I'm so happy for you. This is such an honor for you to join the Sons. It was something we talked about, something we dreamed of.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how wonderful you must feel.
It took a lot of work. But because of our special little unit we have, I actually am training some of them.
Of course, you always were so good with us. I wonder, have you had any opportunities to have any adventures?
Oh, I had quite plenty of adventures. I can't tell you about most of it, obviously, because it's secrets, but I did have a very extensive training session, let's just say it like that. I'll tell you one day if you decide to join us, maybe. It will be interesting to have you on board as a little combat medic.
To join the Sons? Me? To join the Sons?
I mean, it's not up to me, obviously. I just joined myself, but I'm sure that if I put in a good word, that there's a chance.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe
I wouldn't even... Oh. My father would be so proud of me if I could join the Sons. My mother, she would be so proud. Oh.
Well, maybe your
what
mother
an
wouldn't
honor,
be,
what
but
an honor.
She wasn't too big of a fan of you going into the military in the first place, but we have to do what we have to do.
To reach such heights, such glory, oh my goodness, I can't wait to tell my father. But I have to say, Sergeant, I am currently employed. I've signed a contract. We're to head north to Calencourt. Would you join us? We could do with your sword. It would be an absolute boon for us.
Actually, I can't. I just came from there.
You just came from Calencourt?
Yeah, our old friend Pascal, he passed away.
Yeah, Pascal, he's gone.
Yeah, Jonathan, he had an accident of some sort and he passed away. I just came from there to pay my respects to his widow.
What happened?
I'm not sure. They said that he fell and broke his neck or something. He's working in the farm. Apparently he's been a farmer up until this point since we talked to him.
Farmer. I can't even imagine. He didn't even know one end of a shovel from the other. You surely know the one end of a sword from the other, but I never saw him on a shovel.
I don't think it turned out too well, but his widow seemed like they had a good life together. So she asked for you as well. Actually, she asked for all of us. She wanted to thank us, I think, for saving you, especially you, for saving his life back in the day. But if you're going that way anyway, maybe you should have a chat with her. Like,
that's a wonderful idea. She's in Calencourt. If I ask for her,
yeah, she lives
Lady
there.
Pascal.
I'm not sure if Lady Pascal is the right word, if you know what I mean. But I mean, she is Pascal. Her name is Nara.
Nara Pascal.
Yeah, they did marry, so I'm guessing that she must have been okay with his previous life of adventure. But yeah. Well.
We'll have to make ends meet, don't we? We have to do our best to serve our kingdom.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to go the other way. I'm going back to the King's Helm. I was just saying goodbye in a way. I mean, he's buried there, so.
Yes, I understand. I would very much like to pay my respects. We all must take our way into the light at some point.
You're still talking about that,
that
goddess thingy you were talking about?
Oh, Sergeant, it's so much more. I was right. The lady, she came to me.
Right.
She's Sergeant. She gave me powers.
Okay.
watch this. And I will just very discreetly. I don't want too many people to see. I guess I'll kind of I'll just sort of go close to him, and I will just cantrip light. I'll just cast light on the tip of my finger and hold it between us. Look.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Look.
That's a new one. I haven't seen you done anything like that before.
That's nothing. It's nothing to what I can do. I can do so many things. The lady has blessed me.
Right, just be careful. Like, power have a tendency to corrupt individuals, so just be careful, but that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
The power of the lady has granted me many boons. I healed before, but now it's so much more.
Right.
I can do so much good for the world.
Okay, well, I'm glad that happened for you. It does seem very far-fetched for me. Like, well, I know, I'm just a soldier. But...
you're not just a soldier anymore, are you, Sergeant? You're one of the Golden Sons.
I guess that's true. Anyway,
An honor.
I'm happy I met you. If you ever come to the capital, come hit me up. I'll be around. You'll find me. I'll be the one who's drinking the most and yelling the loudest. As usual.
Of course you are, of course. If by chance you head via the fret, could you stop in with my father and my mother and give them my wishes and tell them I'm having great adventures and having much success?
Of course, I can probably go that way for you. That's fine. I can definitely do that.
Oh, thank you so much, Sergeant. Let them know that I'm on my way to saving the money that I need to get into the guild. I'd like to gain entrance, and I'm on my way. I'm doing well.
I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it going well for you. Anyway, my friend, I have to go, unfortunately, but... Oh, so nice bumping into you again. You should look me up one day, when you get there, and maybe we can talk about you joining us.
It's such an honor. I don't know what to say. It's so lovely to see you, Sergeant. Please, if I do make my way to the capital, I would very much like to talk to you about this offer.
Right. Well, just look me up. You know where to find me.
May the light be with you. It's such a lovely time to see you again, Sergeant.
Yeah, under his eye. Bye-bye. And he walks off. And, yeah.
I'm going to make my way back over to my friends, and I'm very, very excited. I'm going to tell them all about who I saw, and going to rabbit on about the Golden Sons and how much of an honor it is, and how he said that he was going to let me join, yeah, he's just going to be excited and just rabbiting on about everything that happened, and completely forget to tell them anything about Jonathan Pascal.
Right. Eventually the hour ends, and Baal comes back with a bag of things that he puts into your cart. So I believe that's all the tools and such you're after. Right. I think we'll have to have a talk about the expenses once we meet up at Calencourt, but for now, let me take care of this. But we do need some kind of action plan, at least, for the future.
It's very generous of you, Mr. Baal. Did you happen to find any healing potions?
Unfortunately, no. It's not really the place for it. I think some mild painkillers might be a problem. But I did find your healing pouch with whatever remedies that is. But yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Tam will take that off him gleefully and go and jump back in the cart and rifle through it to see if there's anything handy in there.
It's a pretty functioning medic kind of kit. It's what you're used to from the military. It's just a little bit more like some of the metal is less strong than the metal you're used to, and some of the glass jars are a little thinner, but everything else seems to be like a civilian version of what you were used to.
Fantastic.
Sweet.
And down the street you see a few other carts arriving. There's a elderly woman driving one cart. There's an older man driving a cart full of pigs. There is a family cart of a man and a woman with a little child. And there is a smaller cart with just a man in really fancy looking clothes. And they all seem to be heading the direction that you're going.
Is that our ticket over there? Is that who we're riding along with?
I believe so.
Looks like it. Looks like it.
Right.
Celeste. Do you want to go and ask if we can join?
Didn't Baal say that he already organised that, or?
Oh, did he?
Oh, I didn't organize it. You can ride
maybe
with
we
them
should
if you
go
wish.
ask. Alright. And I'll kind of like stand next to the cart and just go, you guys all good if we come along with you? We're on our way north, so we thought we'd just tag along.
The old man with the pigs, he just kind of nods. He doesn't really respond. He just kind of nods while he's sucking on a straw and just like, yeah. And then he goes on.
I look back at Tam and I'll go, looks like we're all good.
All right. Who's like to take this first leg of the journey? We're looking at what, 2 days?
1 day, 1 night,
We're
and then
definitely gonna have to
arrival.
take it in shifts. All right, but yeah. Someone want to take the first couple hours? I mean, I'm happy to do so if no one else was.
How about you go first, John, and then I'll take over from you.
Perfect. All right. John sort of makes his way through the hall over to the front, grabs the reins, and just waits for enough of them to pass that he can sort of join in from the back, and then is ready to kick off if everyone else is on board and ready to go.
No problem. It's pretty straight. It's going in a pretty straight line most of the way. It's a very well-traveled trade route.
Sweet. So they're just gonna wave at Baal as they leave as well. Just thanks again, friend. Everything.
See you in a bit.
Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
He just stands there and waves you off. As far as you can see back, you can see him just standing there.
Perfect.
Eventually, you are on the open road, following the rest of these carts towards the destination that you all seem to share.
Sweet. I'm gonna.
Celeste will be... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna keep my eyes out as per usual. John's still very much on edge. I don't think he's gonna be on edge till he gets a night's off edge until he gets a good night's sleep.
Make a perception check.
Sweet, sweet. Oh yeah, disadvantage strikes again. That is perception. Thankfully, he's got a decent buff. 8.
Right. Don't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary.
Cool.
And Celeste, what would you
So
want to do?
Celeste was just going to get her kind of knapsack and put it behind her head, kind of lay down on the floor of the cart in the back if she can, and just kind of just stare up at the ceiling, try and nod off, but the bumping of the road will keep her awake, but just kind of take the opportunity to catch up on a couple hours sleep that she missed out on this morning because Tam came and woke her up.
Before you fall asleep, you do hear a voice in your head.
Right.
Hey, Celeste, I believe it was. It's Ton here. I might have found something. Whenever you, have the time to... And then it cuts off. Sorry, it's me again, Ton. I'm not really... Yeah, you know. Come see me when you're around.
Ton, it's great to hear your voice. I will get in contact with you. I'm just on a job right now.
That's it. But eventually...
And she'll kind of like sit up and clap her hands together a little bit excitedly. And then, yeah, she'll kind of like sit up for a little bit, kind of like daydreaming. And then she'll lay back down.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, she would have to. With message, I'm pretty sure you have to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Who were you talking to, Celeste?
Just an old friend of mine.
Oh, that's so exciting. I haven't heard from my friends for a while.
Yeah, we tended to keep in touch with each other. You know how I spoke to you the other day? Inside your head? Yeah, that's how we tend to keep in touch. Letters are just take too long to get there, I find.
Well.
Speaking of which, and she kind of like lean forward a little bit, like poking her. Are you in the back or are you sitting in front with Jean?
I'd be sitting at the back, looking out the back, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of your friends, you mentioned before that you don't know where you're from.
Yeah,
Just a bit odd.
I grew up in like, I think you would call it like a temple, but it was a tree, and we work really hard at sharing the stories of the world. Very hardworking, very strict, our family community, and then once in our lives we get to go out and find adventure in the world, and an elder he sends us through a tree, and it's like we go through and then we end up where we end up. I don't know where my friends went. They all went out as well, and they could be anywhere. We might bump into them, but we can't talk. Back home, we could talk to each other like you just did all the time. But out here, I can't talk to them like that. We're supposed to find someone to help, and find the stories of the world. I think I've come to the right place. I think this will be a really interesting story.
I mean, that all sounds very odd. But I think that strikes me as the most odd is if you don't know where you came from, how do you know how to get back when it's all over?
Well, the elders know where I am.
They're watching you.
Like they can. I don't think they always are, but they can. And I'm supposed to learn in the world how to get back, and I will, over time, learn how to get back there. I can get back. I can remember the tree, and I can get back to the tree once I learn the spell to get back there. And when I'm back, I can't leave again. So you can only go out once from my tribe.
Why can you only leave once?
I don't know. That's just the rules. And when we're out here, like I've never eaten meat before because in my culture we wouldn't do that. It's really bad. But while we're out here on our one adventure, we get to do all the things that all the people in the world would do, and then if we want to stay, we can stay. But I miss my family.
How long have you been gone for?
3-4 days.
Oh, so you're like fresh.
Yeah, that's why everything's so exciting. Like, I've never seen any of this.
My God, so you're like never seen the outside world, been trapped in this community.
Not trapped.
But you said you couldn't leave. So.
Well, I can leave once. So I wouldn't want to leave. I wouldn't want to leave when I had, like, if I wasn't, then I'd get scared and have to go home. Like my cousin Alma, she left when she was like only 100 moons old, and then she got scared, and then she came home and she didn't have very good stories to share, and so she's pretty boring.
So fascinating. So if, let's say that you return and, you know, you're sitting there with all your friends and family and you're eating food and you think, oh, I really, really miss the taste of bacon. best taste of my entire life. And then every single day, all you can think about is bacon. But you're not allowed to leave and go get any more.
I suppose, I mean, you can leave the second, no one's stopping you from leaving the second time, but you just can't go back. So you've got to make the choice of whether the things in the world are more important than your family.
Right. That's very interesting. And so this community, it's like hidden away somewhere.
Yeah. It's in the forest.
And they all look like you.
No, because one of the things that we do is we find someone that we take back with us, and they become a companion. So my mum looks like me, but my dad doesn't.
So you bring back an outsider back from your journey with you.
Yeah, to be your partner, to be in your family.
Right. So you can only go back once you've found like your one true love and a story.
Yes, a good story that really defines you, because in our community, the story that you tell really defines who you are for, a million moons. That's a long time.
Forgive me for saying this, Ingue, but you seem rather young. I mean, that might just be from your inexperience with the outside world, but speaking of age, if you are quite young, how do you know who it is that you want to spend the rest of your life with? The next million moons. I mean, that's kind of a big commitment.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's why it's so exciting, isn't it?
What if you get back and then you find out that they don't do the dishes and their socks are always inside out and it drives you crazy?
Well, then, but oh, that's a big problem, isn't it? I haven't thought about it before.
I'm glad to be the one to open your mind, Ingue. I just think that something this important, you might miss your family a lot, miss your friends a lot, but it's not worth, finding the first, girl walking down the street and going, oh, she's pretty, let's take her back with me so I can see my family again. I mean, something you should think about.
Oh no, I can stay out here for as long as until I'm ready. So there's no time limit. It's not like I have to rush back. Because you're right, I'd want to be out here as long as I can, or not really. I want to go back when I'm ready, and I think I'll know. Most people that go back know, and if they don't, then they usually leave again.
Fair enough, and then they can just never come back.
Yeah, I suppose, like you said, if you really liked bacon, then
I mean, bacon is a pretty good reason to leave, I'd say.
Wasn't that great?
Trust me, you might find something you like even more than bacon.
Maybe.
I mean, you said you never had alcohol before. Do they have alcohol where you're from?
No, that wasn't that great either, was it?
You seemed to enjoy it when you were drinking it. I think it was just the next day.
The next day was a killer.
That's the thing, you get used to that.
Speaking of age, how many moons is normal for?
Like what?
Well, you said I was really young.
You seem really young.
Yeah.
That could just be down to life experience,
How many moons are you?
I don't even think I can count that high, love.
So lots.
A few handfuls.
A few handfuls. Oh, you're probably younger than me then. I'm 100 moons old.
Laura can't do math, so she has no idea what that is.
Well, it's a 30.
30. Okay, cool.
Yeah. 40 more like, but yeah.
Right. Okay. That's very interesting. I mean, well, I do hope that you find whatever it is that you're looking for on this spiritual journey to find your story. I'm a big fan of stories myself, actually. So I appreciate the quest.
Do you collect what are you doing out here?
Just traveling.
Yeah.
That's the same as you, except I don't really have a purpose in terms of anything in particular that I'm like, I must do this thing. This is the one thing I have to do. I left home quite a few years ago and just haven't found my way back yet.
You know what? I really think that there's something that John's not telling us. I think I get the impression that, and I don't understand him very well, but I think there's something important there.
What you said before about the looking for someone to help.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's my gut instinct.
Oh, he seems like the helpful sort. That's as far as I've, paid attention to. But I think if there is something that he wants to tell us, probably tell us in his own time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
Stories are always better when, they're being told freely. Do you understand?
Yeah, I think I do. And then I think I'd go on to start rambling about all the stories that I've heard, like the king's got five-winged golden horse, and how Krakom is the place where mermaids weep about the beauty of the city, and the water is so pure, and hundreds of other stories that I have from home.
Celeste would be listening intently to all of them and just kind of enamored with just how wildly absurd they are. But there's just something fascinating about them that she's just, because she's probably, she's seen Crackwolm and she's just like, it's a beautiful way to describe the city. It's definitely interesting take on it.
It's a lot of stories, and they're all beautifully portrayed, but they're all wrong. It's not really, none of them are really right. It's a bit odd, but it could be fairy tales.
And Celeste, I don't think that should correct him or try to break the bubble or the illusion of what it is that he believes in. Should just let him prattle on about them and just nod and go, oh, that sounds like it's marvellous. King with 5 wings, wow. I'll have to see him one day. Just kind of feed into it a little bit just to keep him talking and just, listen to him. Better than him talking to birds, so.
Right. Eventually, it becomes nightfall, and the caravan decides to bunker down for the night. And they line up their caravans in a circle, and they invite you to do the same with them as they prep for dinner and then a good night's sleep.
Sean is very eager for that good night's sleep part of things.
Yeah, I think Celeste will probably go up to him as we're pulling up and go, well, you had the reins all day. Do you want me to secure the horse and you can go start setting up your camp?
Yes, that'd be much appreciated.
And I shall look over at Ingue, handing Ingue the reins and go,
let me help you, Ingue.
yeah, essentially.
So the other groups, the other carts, all the people come out and they start cooking dinner together, and there's a bit of a chatter back and forth between these individuals. And as you're prepping, you can see that it seems to be an interesting bunch. Most of them are farmers and such. The guy with the fancier clothes does stand out a little bit as he keeps his distance a little bit from the rest of the farmers, but he is not unpleasant. He just seems to be watching from afar.
Jean might see that individual and sort of look around, make sure everything's all right, and head towards them. I'm curious with a question or two, if possible.
As you come closer, you notice that he's drinking tea out of a very tiny little cup.
Sean rolls his eyes very slightly before sort of holding himself and just approaching and excuse me, you look like the person that might be running this whole operation.
Oh, no. I don't think anyone's running this. It's been a bit of a chaos, to be honest, so if anyone was running it, you should be fired. No. I think this is all just because people are going the same direction. I guess. I don't think any of them knew each other before, even though they do tend to get along very well.
I mean, that checks. We don't really know anyone here. You know if any sort of watches or anything are organized for the nights? People keeping their eyes open, make sure we ain't jumped by nothing wild.
I think the old man, the pig farmer, I think he wanted to have the first watch, but other than that, I don't think anyone's made any decisions yet. By the way, I'm Jules.
Alright. Sort of thrown off, not expecting to introduce himself. Just, Jean.
Oh, nice to meet you. You have
Sorry, Jean Ordenval.
hands.
Put his hand out.
Right. Oh, sorry. I'll be official as well then.
Yeah.
My name is Jules Lemore. I am a cartographer. I'm out here mapping all these little places that tend to have been missed on the map in general. But yes, it's a job after all. Even though I do prefer it inside, away from smells and such.
Sure, as he sort of like looks down at the teacup and then looks back at him.
It's also very well
all right.
perfumed.
I'm gonna go speak to my... Okay. I'm gonna go speak to my friends and that pig farmer over there.
Right, I think his name is...
Best of luck.
Jolan. His name is
Your work.
Jolan, I believe.
Jolan?
Jolan. the farmer.
Alright, understood.
Yes.
I appreciate your help. I apologize I'm not being a little more peppy and approachable. I am exhausted and I need the rest, so I'm just getting the details and heading straight to bed.
Oh, that's quite alright. Don't
alright,
you worry
friends.
about it. It's camp life does this to everyone. I think I need a new pedicure, but yes, you're correct. Don't worry about it. Pleasure to meet you.
Sure, and you. And he just turns and walks away. Very uncomfortable with that conversation. And he's still going to make his way back to his friends and sort of. Looks like they got that guy over there, Farmer Jolan. His name is apparently. He's keeping first watch for the evening. I don't know if we want to make sure one of us is on one of those watches, especially considering who we could have following us. But I'm sleeping, and I'm sleeping the whole goddamn night. So, if you excuse me, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I'm gonna go stare at the stars until I see darkness. And he steps away.
Jean. Have sweet, beautiful dreams.
Thank you. And he's gonna go get something and just immediately lay it down.
Don't let the woodlice bite.
And stare into the sky until he hopefully drifts off. He's done for the day.
Right.
And Celeste will come and look at the other two and go, well, I'm more than happy to stay up half the night and keep an eye out. Doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Yeah, I'm happy to do a watch.
I think
Tell me you got a frog in your throat or something.
Yeah,
I'm always up early, so if you guys want to watch during the night, and you wake me up at first light or a little before, if that suits you, I'm happy to do the last watch before everybody awakes. If you wake me up early, I'm happy to do that. But I mean, before I go to sleep tonight, I'd like to make some rounds. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, Celeste, if you want to keep an eye out, that sounds wonderful.
Absolutely. Not to worry. And Celeste is going to go and she's going to find a nice, a friendly looking tree, I think. I should go and try to find one kind of on the outskirts of the camp area. And she might kind of climb up into the branches and just perch herself up there and, keep an eye out. Maybe get her pan flute out and play this little kind of soft melody as she sits up there.
fair enough. So how many watches are you taking?
2.
2. So I need you to make 2 perception checks, and I'll make one for the old man too.
Make a what, sorry?
Perception checks.
Perception.
If you're keeping an eye out.
So 2 perceptions.
Yes.
First one is a 16 plus 3, 19.
Yep.
And second one, she actually might kind of reach out into her pocket and pull out her, she might see something off in the distance, not quite sure what it is, and she'll pull out a spyglass out of her pocket and whip that out and use that to keep an eye out.
Right.
13 plus 3, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Right, so 19 and 16, right? Yeah. And Ingue, how many of the watches did you do? Just one?
So I'll do the one before Tam, but when Tam does his rounds, I would ask to tag along.
Right.
Can you? I'm used to working hard, but I don't know what to look for. Can you show me what you're doing when you always go around and check everything?
Of course. I'd be glad of the company. Please come with Ingue.
And when he does the rounds, I'd like to cast Detect Magic.
All right. So the gentleman with the T gives off a magical aura. It looks like someone has cast a spell on him. Or he has cast a spell on him. And I will give you the school's name in 2 seconds. Just need to look that up because that is what I never remember. Other than that, most of what you see is not magical. There is a little bit on each of you that gives off glow. Sean's cape, for instance, and Tam has a necklace, and I don't remember Celeste, but she has something on her as well that gives off a little ping, I think.
No, Celeste doesn't have anything magical on her.
Nope. And I think that's pretty much it. And it is illusion, the spell in which is cast on him.
What about the iron thing that I'm supposed to rub?
No.
Not magical. Okay.
No.
And then perception. Sorry.
So
Right.
I rolled an 8.
Okay. You don't really seem to notice much. You're too excited about all these new things, and with this detect magic up, everything is so shiny. It's so hard to just keep focus.
So Tam is going to go around and introduce himself. Hello, my name is Tam Cawthon. I'm a healer. I wonder, is there anybody in your party who might need any of my assistance? Anybody with any ailments, any injuries, or any strife that I might be able to help with?
So the first gentleman to approach you is a farmer. He looks like a settler. Him and his family, his wife and him and his daughter are there. His name is Jarl, and his wife's name is Dina, and his daughter's name is Mina. He approached you, but he says, I don't think that anyone here is in the need of any medical attention currently, but thank you for letting us know. It's always nice to have someone like that with your expertise in a group like this when we're out traveling.
Oh, of course. I'm always happy to help. It's a blessing to be able to help people. If there's anything that you need, even if you have sore feet or sore back, maybe you've been stuck in the cart all day and leant over the reins, please don't hesitate to ask me. Nothing too small. Anything to relieve any issues that you might have. I'd be happy to help.
Right. As you say that, The old farmer guy interrupts. Hey, I have a problem with my back. If you can have a look at that, that would be mighty fine.
Of course, it would be my pleasure. Sorry, my name's Tam. What was your name?
I'm Jolan.
Jolan, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. Now, Jolan, can you take a seat over here?
Of course.
And I'll direct him over to somewhere comfortable that he can sit. And Jolan, I wonder. Let's start by you telling me how long have you had this problem with your back?
Oh, it comes and goes. You know, it's an old injury, especially when I'm riding for a while. So.
An old injury. Did you take some kind of fall or something?
I used to be a bit of a fighter back in the day. Not so much anymore.
I see a man of the fine arts. I see. Look. If you don't mind, I'd be happy to take a look. I will need to lift your shirt at the back. Is that okay?
All right, that's okay. And he takes off the shirt, and you can see that he's just covered in scars. Like from stab wounds, from slashes. There's some puncture wounds from arrows. He's seen some shit. And he's like maybe 80 years old.
Wow, so
but he is built
Tam
like a fucking tank.
That's awesome. Tam will sort of let out a low whistle like, wow. Jolan, you've certainly lived a life, my friend.
Yeah, better than the others.
I guess so. Wow, there's certainly... And Tam will trace his hands across... so his hands are always warm. So they're warm. He doesn't have to like warm them up, you know. They're always warm as he runs his hands and gentle and soft. And trace his hands over some of the more particular scars. And I can see here, this looks like some manner of blade. Have we stabbed, or was it a slash?
Oh, that was someone tried to stab me in the back, and the knife broke. So I had it sticking out for a few days, but I got it sorted eventually.
My goodness, what a story! And this one down here looks like is that a whip? Did somebody whip you?
Yeah, that was actually an accident. One of my friends was trying to use a whip for a weapon, and he hit me, and then I clocked him, and then we're even, you know.
My goodness, you really have lived a life, Jolan. Now, is it down here that it hurts? And I'll put pressure on the bottom of his back, at his lower back.
So lower back here.
So, can I see if I can figure out what's wrong with the guy?
You can do a medicine check.
Yeah, cool. Nice. So that's a 15 plus 3 is 18.
So you notice that some of his organs are slightly misplaced. And as you trace it around, you can see that he has probably had the shit kicked out of him. Because his ribs are also a little bit in the wrong position. You can't really fix this. This is just his body being worn from battle. But he's alive.
Yeah, right. Wow, that's... And I'm going to say, as I'm doing it, I'm kind of speaking to myself, I guess. Wow, this is impressive. Jolan, you really are a marvel. And I will take out... So I've got some salve, like it's kind of like tiger balm or something with mentholatum and something like that in it. And I'm going to rub it into his back around where he said it was hurting. Obviously, there's not much I can do to fix it, as you said. But I'm going to apply some pain relief, and just say thank you for letting me help, Jolan. Look, as I'm sure you're probably aware, you've certainly seen a few things in your life. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to fix it, but certainly as long as we're together, I'd be happy to help soothe the pain as much as I can.
Really, really appreciate it. I see that another fellow soldier, as yourself, is in good company. I appreciate you trying. Thank you, son. And he puts his shirt back on.
Of course. Please, don't hesitate to come and see me. I'm going to make my way back to my cart now and try and get some rest.
Right.
Thank you for letting us ride along with you. It's very much appreciated. Thank you, Jolin. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You too, Tam.
Yeah, so at that, Tam's gonna. Can I see Celeste from where I am?
She's currently in the tree, right? No, you would have been sleeping at this point because you took the first 2 watches, and you took the last watch. So I'm guessing you actually would see her sleeping in the cart, I guess. Not sure.
No, she took the first. She took the first 2 watches, so I'm doing this just in the first sort of half an hour before bedtime.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I would have seen her walk off, but I probably can't see her in the tree.
Well, you can hear her. She's playing on the flute.
Probably hear the
cool.
music.
That's cool. Awesome. So I guess Tam will lay down, listening to the sweet sounds of Celeste and try and get some rest before morning.
Right. I think that was everyone having their checks as well during the night. So is there anything in particular any of you wants to do during the night?
There was one thing that I wanted to try and do.
What?
So as I am on my way to bed, probably assume it's like, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, on my way to go wake Ingue up to take his shift, I want to go over to my backpack and rummage around, and in that bag of gold that Jean gave me, I want to pull out 1 gold piece, and I want to see if I can sneakily kind of creep my way over to Jean, making sure that his, breathing is heavy and laboured, and kind of just take my time, kind of walking over there, and I'm going to try and, stash it in, one of the pockets, or, a sock, or, something in his
Alright,
bag.
make a stealth check. A sleight of hand, I guess. I'll say stealth check is fine for this.
Stealth.
Oh,
come on, don't wake him up. I want it to be a surprise. Oh god, what's that? Oh, okay, that's alright. 15 plus, what's stealth? Plus 4, so that's a 19.
Oh, you seem to do it without too much of a fuss.
Passive.
Yeah. So far, so
And
good.
he's out, he's exhausted.
True. So it would be a passive perception with disadvantage?
So I'll kind of put it under the sole of his boot or something. I'll just tuck it in there and put it back and then go on my way back to bed.
No problem. You believe that you have successfully performed your mission.
The object's been planted.
Only 500 more to go.
499 left.
Fair. Is there anything else that any of you want to do before the next morning? So eventually you make up in the morning to the sound of a child playing, to the sound of someone talking to each other while they are clinking some glasses and having a little bit of breakfast to eat. And you can smell eggs and bacon and familiar breakfast foods being cooked, and even the smell of bread. But you eventually wake up.
Ingue, what was that?
I slept well. How'd you all do?
Celeste kind of coming over from the back of the cart, bleary-eyed, kind of hair standing up. Yes, good morning. I smell bread.
Yeah, not expecting that around here. Wouldn't be too easy to do.
Smells amazing. Can we deduce where the bread is coming from?
the old lady who was traveling on her own is baking bread next to her cart. She has a whole setup of her cart to actually turn it into a kind of a pastry shop, so to speak. But she has set it up so she can cook inside.
Okay. What are we looking at? I don't know about you guys, but I might just stick with my rations. I don't want to bother those people for nothing. I pull in and start chewing on my rations before I even grab my equipment and that.
I don't eat in the mornings anyway.
Sock. I don't remember putting it there, but that's a gold.
Did one of you guys lose this? I don't think it's mine.
Use what? Sorry.
There was this gold coin. It was in my boot with my socks.
Must be your lucky day. I mean, I don't think any of us would have lost our gold in your sock.
I don't know. Sort of gonna look through his own and count what he had. I mean, mine's all there. Did you guys on watch notice anyone come over by us? Maybe they might have dropped it.
I didn't notice anyone.
In your sock. I
don't know. Maybe
no.
Bad bounce. I'll tell you.
Ingue, have you heard any stories about gold appearing in socks?
God, that would be a cool story. No.
I know. And I'm gonna look to see if I have another little empty pouch on me or something, and I'm just gonna put it in there, and then I'll guess I'll try to find the owner when I get the chance. But yeah.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I know you're eating some rations, but could I bother you? I don't know how to cook I I pull out like lamb chops. I got this. But you seem like a man. Can you show me how to prepare them?
I mean, yeah, you want to have that for breakfast? I mean, you're looking more and more like my kind of dude.
Yeah, well, if you show me how to cook it, you can have some too. How about I've got this pot. Oh yeah, I've got this pot. Is that how we cook it?
I mean, depends what kind of thing you want from it. I prefer to just chuck it straight onto something hot, something flat, like a skillet.
Do you have a skillet?
You got... I don't think I got anything. I just carry dried rations with me for the most part.
Well, do you mind if I light a fire, and then we can...
By all means. Tam seemed to get a bunch of gear. Do you remember? I mean, I lost track while he was rattling it off to Baal. Do you know if maybe he got a skillet amongst that?
Sure, no problem.
I don't know what a skillet is, but
so you'll notice as Ingue lights the fire, Tam will make his way over. He's been off doing his exercise and praying to Aethea. You notice that he looks as usual, like spotless, like hair perfect. Like in the movies where the chick wakes up with a full face of makeup, like she just woke up like that, That's how Tam wakes up every day, and he makes his way over, and he'll have a look at and Ingue, what are you up to?
Well, I'm just about to light a fire, but I want to check with John first because some of the magic that I do upsets him. And I'm not sure which magic is upsetting and which magic is helpful. So if I use a magic to light the fire, is that upsetting or helpful?
Are you asking Jean directly this?
Yeah.
No, that's fine. That's helpful stuff. It's stuff that's confusing. Like, sort of looks over at Tam for a second, looks back and just goes, like, I don't know, looking like me, or hurting people with it that I don't know.
Okay, so, and I'll just snap my fingers and like a massive bonfire will, like, I will have pointed at a stick, a bonfire that someone had prepared to actually be a fire, and it's just gone.
Expecting like a little set of embers to start, and it slowly just singe up. Sean immediately takes a step back and just, whoa! All right, no, we're good.
So Mr. John, I'm new here,
Yep.
and I want to follow the rules that are here. So, can you tell me if it's good magic or not good magic? Because I'm very I want to be good, but I'm very confused about what good is here.
I really do appreciate your concern, but I'm probably not the best to speak to that. I'm the type of individual that didn't grow up with much magic, and it's very much a more common thing in most parts of the world than where I'm from. So if you want to fit in with the majority of the world, it might be better to speak to some of the others. I'm just not used to it is all. Like,
so that's why actually you are the person that should make the rules, because if I can do everything, then I shouldn't make the rules. You should make the rules about what magic is good magic and what magic is not good magic. That's how it works that's why I'm here.
Okay.
In my village. We go out into the world and we find out what the world thinks is good. Like this eating this is I don't think is good.
no, I understand. Okay, I see where you're coming from. I'll tell you what. Why don't you stick to what you're doing? Now, my main thing is obviously don't hurt people that don't deserve it.
Okay.
That's just don't be using magic on that, and try not to trick us, any people you're traveling with any sorts of magic and that. But otherwise,
so illusion is always bad. Like the
No.
fancy man, he's doing he's doing the trick that Tam does, but like all the time.
what fancy man?
Did you say that gentleman over there is perhaps disguising himself?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
very interesting.
He's
Very interesting.
Ingue, just as a note, when you discover things like that, if someone's not what they seem, should kind of like lean in and like talk a little bit lower. Things like what they seem, or things look really odd to you or kind of stand out. Just let us know.
Yeah,
Just
maybe you should
run it
tell
by
us.
us.
Just let us know.
So, I've been telling you lots of things, and you seem not that interested in all the things that I find interesting.
What are you talking about? I was listening to your stories for like 2.5 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, look.
I'm not.
Ingue,
Yeah.
Look. Sometimes the things that you say are things that we take for granted. Okay, things in our world are very normal. So of course, when you tell them to us, we're not going to be surprised. But look, I don't want you to stop. I think you telling us all of these things is perfectly good for you, and if we're not particularly interested, you're certainly not bothering us. So please continue to do so, and that means that if you do come across something like the gentleman over there is disguising himself and isn't what he seems, that's good for us to know. Do you understand?
Okay. Yep.
So please don't stop.
So-
Tell us whatever you like to tell us. We may or may not be completely bored with it and walk off on our way, but please don't stop.
John, did you know that your cape is magic?
No, it's not. It's not magic. This is something I fashioned together myself after taking down a beast. I just made it from their hide. What do you mean magical?
What? Well, it's what class of magic was it, Tom?
That's a
His
good
cape. I don't have
question.
identify.
Do you
Yeah,
have
that
a
is a good
possibility
question.
of checking that for me, Shark?
Yeah, I'll look into it. I'm trying to think.
Don't have it right here.
Celeste will kind of like at that, kind of lean forward a little bit. Go, how curious! I didn't even know. I can tell you what it is if you'd like.
I'm still not entirely sure it is. I mean, you can certainly try, but I don't I don't know what you'll gain from it.
Well,
he
I
sort of,
mean,
takes
at
it
the
off and
most,
looks at it.
you know, at the very least, be able to take a look, and then I can turn it back to you and go, it's absolutely unextraordinary. And then you'll know for sure.
Sure. I guess it's... Oh, man, these have been some weird days. And he sort of lays it down.
She'll take it and she'll fold it up into a nice, nice little pile. And then she'll sit there and kind of like, as she's sitting there, she'll kind of like look at it. And then these kind of like glowing orbs will kind of like lift up around it. Just kind of, they're like really tiny, tiny like pinpricks of light. And then just kind of do like a really, really slow rotation as she just starts carving little like symbols into the dirt around her. And then she will ritual cast identify on the item.
Right.
Sweet.
So what?
So kind of like sitting there, and as you say that, she'll just go.
So I'll pull up. I actually have the exact details over here. Struggling to find the school of magic it would be, but
yeah,
functionally,
I guess it's probably
while wearing the thick cloak,
The cloak of elvenkind.
I gain advantage on stealth checks made in snowy terrain.
I'll tell you that and go.
Yeah, large white fur pelt that sits on his shoulders and down halfway to his back.
Go. This must have been an extraordinary beast. And then she'll, as the orbs kind of like drift down and dissipate back into the cloak, she'll hand it back to him. And go. Must have been one extraordinary beast that you took down. Should well, it gives you a certain, shall we say, camouflage in certain terrains and environments.
Okay, I mean, makes sense. They're hard to see in that sort of snowy environment. So, I didn't realize it was magic. I mean, it ain't no normal wolf, I say that much. Put it back on.
There you go. That's one problem solved for the day. Now,
back to breakfast. So Ingue, you seem to have lit a fire. Jean, are you going to do some cooking?
We were gonna teach Ingue the way of it.
Oh, fantastic! Well, look, actually, I do. I know exactly what you're going to ask.
Yep.
I'm always prepared. So, Tam will go into his backpack, and he actually was equipped with a mess kit from the get-go. So, he will take out. So, what are we cooking? What are we making?
I think we're starting with these chops, right?
Oh yes, I believe. What if we saute them in a skillet? We could put a little butter or lard, and we could cook them up. I noticed while I was doing my exercises over there in the forest. I believe I saw some borage or some sage. I could go and fetch some of that. We could brown it in the butter or the lard, and then we could put the chops in. What do you think?
Just look at Ingue.
Excellent. I can get this. I can get the sage from. I saw it.
Yeah,
I can go and get it.
With lamb. It's absolutely divine. So I will, and he's going to set up his skillet and take a step back because he's not going to be doing the coaching. He's just a bit of a foodie. That's all.
So eventually, you end up cooking some pork chops, I guess, or lamb chops. I'm not sure which one it was that you picked.
Lamb chops.
And
lamb chops. We're definitely.
Sean is definitely the barbecue master. He has done this so many times before that it is unrealistic to believe that this would ever fail. And it smells so juicy. And while this is happening, Tam, you notice someone tugging on your leg. And you see what looks like a garden gnome in size, kind of tugging on your leg, just kind of telling you to calm down. And you don't see it, any of you others, it's just him. You're a little low on the voice.
Do you guys see that?
You don't see anything.
See what?
There's a little creature, little man or something. Looks like a bloody gardener.
They can't
Is it
see
your
me, you
little
idiot.
friend that you talk to?
Okay, just give me a second. Hello?
Hi, so you're the new guy, eh? So listen here, Casper. I have a message for you.
Okay, a message from the new guy in sorry,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, from Athia.
Oh, of course. Oh, you work for the mistress.
Of course. So she told me to
Athia,
come
oh.
talk to you because your name is Casper and you're the new guy. So I have a job for you.
I'm sorry, my name's not Casper.
That's
Tam.
that's whatever. I have a mission for you. When you arrive at the Calencourt, there's an altar there for this dude. I think his name is Saint Manon, right?
Yes, I've heard of Saint Manon.
Great. She wants you to destroy it before you leave the village. Anyway, have a nice day. And he's gone. And all you see is just Tam talking to himself.
I was just starting to feel good about today, and now everybody's starting to talk to themselves again. All right, I better get used to it.
Okay. Okay. Tam's just going to sit down, confused. I think he might make his way over to the old lady, actually, and see if he can't charm some bread out of her.
You don't really need to. She's very, very good at just being welcome. So she is being welcoming. So she gives you some bread for free, and she's just showing off her goods and showing off her wares, but she's not trying to make a profit in this moment.
Okay, well, Tam will absolutely not let her give it to him for free. He will insist on giving her probably some coppers, so 5 or 10 coppers maybe. And also, my good lady, in offer, obviously I'll give you some money, I insist. But if you have any hurts or any ailments while you're out here in the caravan, please come and see me. Just as baking seems to be your talent, I have some measure of skill with healing. So if you have any problems, any aching bones or joints, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Oh, thank you so much, young man. I will keep that in mind. For now, I'm actually pretty good. I have a whiskey before going to bed at night, and that usually helps me with most of the predicaments that I have. But thank you.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I can see why you'd be in such good health. This bread is amazing. And I take like a small loaf back to the campfire, and I'm going to break it open and sort of break it like this, and I'm going to say, Ingue, have you ever had bread?
Bread? Yeah, that's made. Let me smell it.
Smell this.
Oh, it's lovely. This is what we eat at home. Usually.
Isn't it delicious? Do you make it like this at home? And he's going to break off a hunk and pass the rest over to Ingue. Here, pass it around. It's delicious. And Tam will just start munging into his bread.
It's slightly sweet, actually. It's the best bread you probably ever had in your life. Because it's fresh, it's warm, and it's slightly sweet. It's amazing. Well done out of a cart. But eventually, you all eat up your breakfast, finish off, and you pack up, and you continue the journey towards Calencourt. And is there anything in particular any of you wants to do on the rest of the journey there? Before you arrive around midnight.
Sean is definitely going to offer up the reins. He's going to take the back after the day, sort of realizing that with how exhausted he was, it probably wasn't the best idea for him to take the reins for the first part of the journey yesterday. So he's just going to offer them straight away and just be like, if you require me to come up, let me know, but I think I'm going to sit in the back for most of this one. And he's going to go in the back, and he's going to take off his long axe from his back, and he's just going to make sure that it's all sturdy and everything. Which those that would see it now, it doesn't look like it's an axe made for combat. It looks like it is a modified woodcutter's axe with a slightly longer beard than usual. It looks like he's just thinned out the wood, wrapped some sort of leathers around it, and is just making sure it's all holding fast and tight.
That's fucking sick.
Thank you. And yeah, that's all he's really going to do.
Right. So I said midnight, but it's probably going to be right after nightfall, probably around 8 you will be arriving at the current pace. So I'm not sure if anyone else wants to do anything until then.
No, I think I'll try and split the watch, I guess you call it. Whoever's driving the cart, I'll split it with Ingue or Celeste. I'll take my turn or whatever.
Celeste is 100% not offering to drive the horse. You'd like, it's like when Jean was like, someone else can do it, Celeste just followed like right after him and like, yeah, someone else can do it.
Well, I guess I'll split it with Ingue then.
She'll kick back and just, pull out her flute again and just play a couple travelling songs as we're going and just,
Right.
chill.
Very cheerful with the music. And eventually, you arrive at what looks to be a bigger village than the one you just left. There is a bit of an odd vibe in the air. Because it's already dark, it's a little strange, but it seems like there's a lot of people on the streets. Some seem to be keeping an eye out. Some of them seems to be boarding up some of their windows. And others seem to be held up at the inn, just simply drinking, pretending like everything is normal. But there is a vibe of something eerie in the air. And as you come closer into this village, the fog of the nearby water swamps and such also kind of starts coming out. There are some trees around the village, not a whole forest, but there's a thick, dense type of trees in little patches here and there. And the fog makes it a little bit almost like a little paradise island in the middle of this fog area, as the village is not really covered by this, but seem to have been spared. But there is plenty of people around, and they have not gone to bed yet, but they are, some of them drinking, some of them keeping a lookout, and some of them eyeballing you guys as you arrive at the city.
As we're kind of walking into the city or the village, I want to kind of keep my eyes out on the walls of the buildings that we're passing, and see if I can see any like missing or wanted posters. Just keep my eye out for them, see if I can spy any.
Right, make a perception check.
17, 18, 19, 20.
In the inn itself, it seems like there is some posters. It looks like more than 5. It probably looked like 20 of these posters hanging on the wall. But on the ordinary buildings, it doesn't look like it.
They're just in the inn.
They're just sitting on the inn, like the central hub. Seems like the inn is...
And they all look like different people?
Yes. Some of them are children, some of them are older individuals. Male, female, it's a little bit of a mixture. It looks like most of these are people who lived here.
She kind of just keep that to herself for now and just see if anyone else notices. And then if we go inside, she might bring it up after. And we're all having a drink, having a chat.
The rest of the caravan forms a circle again and bunkers down there for the time being as well.
Can I see if there's somebody around to approach to speak with them?
Yep. There is some people out front of the inn, and there's some people doing some farming chores late at night before finishing off. There's plenty of individuals.
Is there a sign above the inn?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the inn that we're looking for? Is it what was it called? It was called the
Clumsy.
yeah
The clumsy.
Clumsy.
Yeah.
Lowlife.
Clumsy Lowlife. That's right.
Yes.
Is it that place that we're looking for?
Yes.
It is the Clumsy Lowlife. Okay.
Yes. And there is a table on the outside because it's you have to take some stairs to get up to the thing, and then outside there's a little balcony almost where there's some individuals sitting there, and one of them seems to be looking at you as you arrive and gets up as soon as you enter the area.
Okay, I'll approach that guy, and with outstretched hand, good evening, friend. My name is Tam Corthen.
Right.
Somebody said that there may be some trouble here, and we've been sent to help.
Right. Yeah, my name is Orlando. I am the mayor here. Welcome. I am believing to be the one who have asked you help.
Of course, Orlando. It's lovely to meet you, Mr. Santori, I presume.
Yes, that's correct.
Ah, well, it sure is lovely to find you so easily. My party and I, we're here to try to help with this problem.
Right.
I wonder if you could fill us in, perhaps. Maybe over dinner. We've had a long road here. It's been nearly 2 days' journey. My friends and I would definitely like to take a seat and perhaps refresh ourselves.
Right. Of course, we can do that. I'll come with you down to your friends, and we can have a chat, and we can see what we can do about the food. But
Fantastic.
Welcome. And he walks you back to where your carts are. I'm not sure where you're going to be parking it. If you want to park it with the rest of the people, or you just want to park it somewhere else, that's up to you.
I imagine we would have stuck with the people just with the cart for now,
Right.
right?
So, this gentleman, very fine clothes, mostly bald, but a very nice mustache, comes down to the camp with Tam. Hello, everyone. I'm Orlando. I am happy to see that you're here. I hope that you can help me with this problem.
That's what we're here to do. At least do our best.
Right. So there's been a lot of missing people. Unfortunately, the King's Guard haven't had the time or resources to assist me, but it seems like when night comes, something happens. People go missing, and we're not quite sure what or where or how. We don't really have anyone to lead an expedition into the forests or into the woods, or even to stay up at night to keep an eye out, so your help is greatly appreciated.
Do we know if it's happening on particular nights at all, or like
It seems
once
to
every?
be happening every night over the last 2 weeks. There's been people missing almost every night.
We were informed that there were likely 5 individuals missing. So more have happened since.
Yes. Since I have made this job ad, more have gone missing. So we're desperate for help, and I hope that you can assist us.
Do our darndest.
Might I ask, where are these people disappearing from? Their houses? Were they last seen out on the streets? Were they beyond the village walls?
In the city, in the homes, on the street, everywhere. We don't seem to see a pattern, we just seem
Being
to see them
snatched?
disappear. We've seen drag marks from some
And no
of the houses,
telltale marks.
but they just seem to go nowhere.
Did you say drag marks?
Yes. We've seen drag marks here and there. We're not sure if that's from something else. We're not obviously experienced trackers.
Do these drag marks seem to be leaving the village?
Yes, they seem to be leading into the nearby woodland areas. And Ingue, you notice something with your passive perception. You notice a woman dressed in white on the other end of the village, standing in the mist, looking into the city. You're unable to see her lower half, but you can see a woman definitely standing there, with long white hair in a white dress, pointing at you.
Pointing at us directly?
Yes.
I would like come up behind Tam. Excuse me, Mr. Cawthon. You know when you told me to tell you things that I might notice. Can you see the lady standing in the fog?
You
Lost Tam.
lost your voice.
What are you?
Please don't call me Mr. Cawthon. That's my dad. Just call me Tam. Now, Ingue, what are you talking about? Which direction? Tell me where. Point.
I will not point, but I will look at the lady.
Okay. So I notice which direction he's looking in. Look
You
in that
can see her
direction.
very clearly as well. There's someone standing in the mists right now, pointing at you.
So Tam is going to be a bit taken aback, probably a teensy bit scared, and he's going to, yes, Ingue, I do see it. My goodness, Jean, Celeste, look over there. Do you see the lady in the mist?
You see it as well. And as you watch her, she
How-
lowers her arm.
I'm sorry, I was just going to ask, how far away roughly is she?
About 120 to 150 feet away. And as you're watching
Okay.
her,
I'm going to... Oh, sorry.
it's almost like a second's flash. And she's gone. And then you hear a scream. From the other side
It's not
of the
me this
village, it's a little girl screaming. And as you look over, you see
Mayor,
some hooded figure with shackles coming out of its body. One of them attached to the little girl's hand as it's pulling her closer. And you hear
How
a
far away from us is this
scream
happening?
from the other side. And I would say roll for initiative, but we're gonna have to do that next time. 'Cause we are already at 11.
What?
But what
How
you do
far away
notice...
from us...
Yes?
Sorry, I was going to ask, how far away was, like, from the first scream, how far away was the girl from us? When you said, like, other side of the village.
So she is probably 60 feet away from you guys to your right. And the woman was 120 feet across straight. What you do notice is that this individual hooded figure is not the only one. Out of the fog comes a group of zombies. And then another group of
my
zombies.
God.
And then another
Oh
group
my
of zombies.
God.
What?
And you notice something larger in the mist is walking around very fast, but you're unable to see what it is.
Oh yeah, boy.
Well, it was lovely to see the village. It was absolutely delightful to be here. We'll be on our way.
yeah.
Lovely
Good
place you
smoke,
got
yeah.
here.
So I do have the village set up in case you got there early, but you never know when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. But I definitely have something special in store for you for next time. Currently facing off against 15 zombies.
We have to do it.
And something else.
Oh, I really wanted to take one action before we rolled.
What did you want your action
It's
to
just
be?
one thing I wanted to do. I want to cast Misty Step. Well, I want to not cast it, I just want to use my Misty Step. That was what I was going to do at the beginning, but
We can say that you can do that.
I can roll for it.
No, that's okay. Where did you want to go?
Okay. Towards the girl. Like, as soon as I, like, turned and saw her, I would have just, like, vanished.
Bam.
Right. Well, I can move you on the map here. I have an idea of where everyone is, so that is fine. But yeah, there's a few individuals that you're gonna have to deal with now.
Yeah.
It's just
I want to
zombies.
kill some zombies.
It's right, it's just John's friends coming back to, you know, let's check in on him.
No idea what you're talking about. Absolutely none.
Very well.
We all saw the intro. Foul, vile creatures are undead.
My mum told me that zombies are just fairy creatures, and you go and dance with them, and then they leave you gems.
Yeah.
Start tap dancing.
Indeed.
John turns his attention to Ingue and grips his axe.
Actually,
that was so much fun.
as you jump
I love
over
playing with you
there,
guys.
as you jump over there with your Misty Step, you would also see that this hooded figure is also undead of some sort, but it has 4 clasps on chains, one of them attached to the little girl, the other 3 floating in the air, aiming at you.
Yeah, boy.
Cool. Cool.
I wish we could continue, but we don't have enough time.
No.
All right.
It's like,
That's what next week's for.
that's like the whole session's worth of just combat right there. Like 1,000 zombies and shambling whatever
Oh, and old
shackle
mate,
creatures.
there's like guy with all
Level
the
2.
scars.
Level 2.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully our magic fancy man turns out to be like, you know, the captain of the guard or something and has just come along for the ride and it's going to shave us all.
I wish you could see my notes.
Find out.
Right, Arno.
Fair enough. No, I think that was pretty good. I think, yeah. I was a lot of RPing this time, and I think that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
Found out about Ingue's cult, you know. Usual.
And Adam's cool.
Yeah, man.
Which one?
The bloody Saint Manon. Oh my gosh.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah, so previously we played with Sandman. It's a deity of sorts, which is a good deity that helps people, helps the poor. But now, yeah, Tam's got the other end of the stick.
Oh, awesome. It was great playing with you guys tonight. It was fun.
Hell yeah.
Indeed.
Was. Good job, Tom.
Good job, you guys. After technical difficulties, we'll be moving to our own channel next time. Monsters
Amen.
Mayhem. I will end
Yeah.
tonight's session here, and I'll see you all next Monday.
Oh,
Bye. Thanks for tuning in.
We love you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
thanks for coming.
See you later.